Okay, so this is going to be session one of, I was about to say Golden Glory, but Wrath and Glory. You'll be playing through the Dark Tides campaign. Now, just to go ahead and give off a forward for those that are new about the 31st millennium, I'm going to read the beginning text of all the Warhammer kind of fluff.
Red.
All right. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day, for whom blood is drunk and flesh eaten. Human blood and human flesh, the stuff of which the Imperium is made. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. It is a universe we can live today, if you dare, for this is a dark and terrible era where you will find little comfort or hope. If you want to take part in the adventure, then prepare yourself now. Forgotten the power of technology, science, and common humanity, forgotten the promise of progress and understanding, for there is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. But the universe is a big place, and whatever happens, you will not be missed. I think it's a good way to give an idea of the universe you're in. All right.
No matter what, you will not be missed.
It actually made me think, what are the suicidal rates in Imperium of Man?
Probably ridiculously high. I can imagine.
The Omnissiah is against waste, and suicide is waste. Therefore, Scutarius suicide is very low.
All right.
I mean,
Our adventure, your story, begins. You are above a planet within a flotilla of a rogue trader. Now, all of you came to be under the order of this rogue trader through various means. Perhaps you were on a battlefield surviving a campaign through several years of just slaughter and bloodshed, and someone noticed you. Someone noticed your survival, perhaps your instinct to survive. And so you were picked up. And most likely to you, that is a very, very honorable and very lucky thing, because most souls that live on a battlefield will also die on that battlefield. It is not unheard of to have a regiment in the Imperial Guard be on a planet for over 100 years. Men might be born on that planet, recruited into the regiment, and die on that planet from old age if they survive or are sent to non-frontline battle zones. But you were picked up, whether that being a psyker that was originally grabbed by the black ships of the Imperium to feed the Emperor of Mankind on his golden throne. Or, as I mentioned, the battlefield, or even with the old warrant of trade that the rogue traders have from the Great Crusade thousands of years ago, that saw the era in the time of the Emperor when he walked around with his soldiers, the Space Marines, and the Primarchs before the heresy that tore the Imperium apart. So some Space Marine chapters owe the fealty or owe help to rogue traders, to the dynasties when it's called. Which is how one of you are on board one of the flotilla ships, although right now he's not currently here, so maybe he's practicing in the fighting pens on one of the ships. Let's pull up my notes real quick. The rogue trader that you all answer to is Jakal Veronius. Within his flotilla of ships, you all actually reside on not his flagship, but another ship called the Litany of Hatred. And it is there that you have all gotten a beep on your data pads, coming directly from Veronius. This means there's nothing you want to dally with. You want to immediately look at this and read what has been said. And this goes to all of you. The message is short, almost curt, describing the current mission for your warband.
Is this a written message or like an audio message?
It is going to be a written message I'm going to read out.
So...
Well, actually, it would be, sorry, it's actually an audio message from the data slate from Veronius.
Okay, because I can't read, so...
So, I'll read it. Anything like this, I will usually only type out stuff in chat for just kind of like keywords that might be important to the game. For example, I'll put in Rogue Trader Veronius, as well as the Litany of Hatred ship. But the message that's on the data slate that's going to come through voice-wise, I'm just going to go ahead and say.
Well, I'm basically trying to in-character tell whether or not I would be able to even read this. Because I have no eyes.
You'll hear it. You would definitely hear it.
Then yeah, I'll just go ahead and bring that up.
Y'all know that the ship, the flotilla, did come out of the warp about a day ago, heading towards a planet, a system called Chardian. If that's how I pronounce it, I got no idea, but that's what we're going with. Alright, to the message at hand. Chardian is an ocean world of significant value to the Gilead system. The planetary governor, Ganthet Veneratio, has gone missing, and we have reason to believe he is dead. As such, this planet needs a new governor, and I'm going to ensure that the succession proceeds quickly. Chardian's production of food is too important to the Gilead system to let it fall into anarchy. One of the largest problems involving the nobles of the capital hive, Adon, these upper hive elite relish taking insult at any opportunity. There has been a series of apparent murders amongst their ranks. Eventually, one will use these deaths as an excuse to accuse a rival, and the planet's industry will fall apart as the nobles war amongst themselves. I want this murderer found, and swift, with a beat of action taken against them, understood. At the same time, verify the governor's death if you can. Veneratio's disappearance was far too convenient for my taste. I'll not have these trivialities distract from the greater threats to the Gilead system. Your first step should be to contact Prefect Aurelius, or Aurelius, the current highest-ranking administratum official and interim governor, to gain more specific details about the murders.
Okay, so when we get on the planet, we have to go talk to that guy.
Nope, this was the governor that is now missing, presumed dead. Who we want to talk to is Prefect Aurelius, which is now in chat.
Okay, to go figure out what happened to him. Okay.
So, a little info about the details of your actual little group. You are considered the warband. Now, obviously, Jackal is going to have various warbands within his flotilla once he will send out personally to take care of matters. Now, some of the things that a rogue trader has to usually deal with, now because they have the warrant of trade, which was, as I mentioned, passed on usually from the Great Crusade 30,000 years ago when the Emperor is still walking around, these warrant of trades grant rogue traders and their family immense power, almost on par with Space Marine chapters as well as that of planetary governors.
Okay, so the rogue trader we work for has a lot of influence, basically.
Very. Now, the thing, though, what stops usually a lot of rogue traders from just getting the right trade and just heading off to the edge of space? No, the main task of a rogue trader is that to find civilized worlds that fell through the dark age of technology, or worlds that got cut off from the Imperium, or just find new worlds of humanity that never even seen the light of the Emperor, and to bring into the Imperium to make the Imperium bigger. So their main task as a rogue trader is to find these worlds and to explore the outer reaches of Imperium territory that's never been charted. So with that, rogue traders are given a lot of leniency because one of the prime aspects of Imperial law is you cannot mingle with any alien species, the Xenos. Because usually when you do, you're going to get approached by the Inquisitors. What, Kidson?
You can with Bolter.
Yes, yeah, absolutely you can. That's the universal greeting with the bolter round to the head. Is how you usually treat friendly Xenos. Now, rogue traders, because they're usually be by themselves or with a small amount of ships, they actually are given permission to accompany, talk to, even negotiate with the Xenos throughout the galaxy. Although once they come back to Imperial space to either get refit, the ships repaired, or to even gain more crew from perhaps battles or other incidents through the warp, they're usually boarded by Inquisitors to see if they still have the best intentions of the Imperium in their mind and heart. So normally if there is going to be a crew of Xenos aboard a rogue trader ship, they'll probably be left behind on another planet to be picked up again once the rogue trader comes back to wherever they came from. Now, as I mentioned, one way to stop rogue traders from just heading to the edge of the system and never coming back is usually, once a warrant is given to another successor in the line of the family, the Imperium tasked that rogue trader with a task or two to do the wishes and the services of the Imperium. In this case, Jackal Veronius was actually requested once he returned back to Imperial space from a very lucrative several-year run throughout the edges of the system. He was requested by the Imperium, the High Lords of Terra, the ruling lords of Terra and the Imperium, to go ahead and take care of some of the issues within Chardian, the planet you now orbit, as well as head to another planet or another system several weeks away to populate a planet that was found by the Mechanicus Explorator fleet, I believe probably about a century ago. Although as known, sometimes after a century of wait, that planet itself might not be so habitable anymore, or there might be actual new inhabitants on that planet. But one of the ships accompanying Jacob Ronius' fleet is a actual colonization ship. But that's not your task.
Yeah, I assume this first task was probably what I was handed over for.
Yes, that's what all of you. Now, you all are a new warband in Ronius' fleet, or his flotilla. And so he actually personally picked all of you to go ahead and do this task by yourselves to see how well you can do this first line of work for the Imperium for Veronius. And he's going to judge you. He's going to gauge how well you handle this coming events. So go ahead and bring the succession of the planet back into a new governor.
I can't wait to disappoint him.
Yeah, I believe failure is gonna result in our deaths. But...
Which would probably mean you would probably be sent back to wherever you came from, which you all would know immediately would not be the best place. And for you, Ren, you would know that if you're not of any use to Veronius,
I'd probably get sacrificed.
Yes, which is you do not want to have happen.
Yeah, no, I know. I was mostly joking, but like...
All hard data will be recorded in the glory of the Messiah.
Fantastic. All right. So you all head towards the... Oh, sorry, let me say this. Before you head towards the... Actually, no, just because I want to go into Curious and Confusion right now. So y'all head towards the hangar bay of the Litany of Hatred, heading towards one of the shuttles that you're going to use to head towards the hive city, Adon. Adon is the capital hive city of the planet Chardian, which is where the governor's seat for the former, or the presumably still possible alive Ganthet Vernatio. But you're heading there to meet, as we mentioned, Prefect Aurelius to gain information. So, y'all head to the shuttle. Now, perhaps some of you did not know each other at first, or maybe you saw each other's passings, or maybe you did talk to each other. Because in this warband, there are two similar individuals that came from, not similar, but backgrounds that are for the Imperium and the... Ooh, that's bad. All right. Sorry, I just dropped something. Yes, there is, as you know, when you reach the shuttle, you see each other. Now, the ones that stand out the most and obvious is going to be the two individuals wearing carapace armor of one of the Imperial Guard and one of the Tempestus Scions. You're going to see another individual that's obviously from the Mechanicus line, as well as another individual which perhaps put all of you a bit on edge immediately because she is wearing the telltale visor of a psyker.
And they kind of push their visor up, just kind of turning their head, and you see that they have no eyes, which is a sign of the astropaths. And they just kind of turn their head a few times and just like, okay, guess this is what we're doing now.
Actually, just quick question: would we actually, as a guardsman or scion, whatever, would we be real that familiar about scions, which one is what type and stuff like that?
You mean
Like,
psychers?
Yeah, psychers. Yeah. Like you said you were astropath, right? So...
Yeah. Well, astropaths are the most common type of psyker.
Ah,
They are used for communication, so.
Mhm.
If you've seen a psyker before, you most likely saw an astropath, and all of them have something wrong with their eyes, essentially. Like, some of them, it's described as they have just, like, these white orbs for eyes, and others, their eyes have melted out.
But what all of you do know is the very, very reliable fear that is given to psychers, because they have a tendency to, well, just for fact of matter, for a psyker to use the power, they need to tap into the warp, the immaterium, the alternate universe that your very ships travel through, because without the immaterium, the ships of the Imperium could not travel to other galaxies, other systems, we still say galaxy, but other systems and other planets. The Imperium wouldn't exist without the immaterium. But within that very dimension are the Chaos Gods, which everyone rightly fears because these gods do not have the best intentions of humanity at best. But psychers that draw upon the Immaterium for their power have a tendency to pool too much, or an entity within the Immaterium catches notice, sees a doorway, a potential doorway to real space, and they will tear through that psyker, or even subtly take over the mind of the psyker for the opportune time to come forth, at which point usually results in an entire ship being lost, if it's not contained real quickly. So it's a very rightly feared ability of psychers, but they're also needed throughout the galaxy. Okay, you got the shuttle, and the loading ramp on the shuttle drops down with a hiss of steam and compressed gases. You hear within one of the pods go, "Doc, get in. We're heading out within 5 minutes."
And they kind of clap their hands and go, alright, let's get this over with. First real time that I've been allowed out of that stuffy old room.
That's great to know. Nothing like presence of psyker.
I wait until everybody else loads, scan the ship one more time, and then turn and walk in.
The ship to you seems fine. It has been rightly sanctified by the machine spirit. Has been rightly. I sound doing all these freaking terms now for Warhammer. Has been rightly appeased. The other engineers and priests aboard the the litany of hatred has done their best to keep the machine's spirit calm and good.
I figured as much. I just wanted to give it its due, reverence before I stepped upon it.
All right. Now, the shuttle you board is known as an Orvis transport shuttle, and we're going to show a couple pictures right now so you get an idea of what you're looking at, the size of it. There's another image from the top. Oh, this one is the actual toy model. There's one, I wouldn't say toy, but the actual model that's used within the universe. Some people probably call them toys, but it's an expensive toy hobby. But this is your shuttle when you head towards Adon. Y'all board, y'all get within the grav seats, do the harnesses over your shoulders as the shuttle itself lifts off and enters the atmosphere of Chardian. Now, the ride is fairly unpleasant. You look out the windows of the Orvis shuttle and you see that Chardian is a ocean world. The vast majority of the surface of Chardian is water, and not nice, clean water, like bluish green water. That doesn't exist. No one's seen. Everyone's heard tales of nice, clean water you would be able to bathe in. Not here, because the very, very few land masses, these giant reefs, or just these jagged cliffs that do come out of the water, are home to all the hive cities within the planet. And it is here that you're traveling to the main one, that being Hive City Adon. I have another picture I can show to give you a little idea.
Is it Hive World or is it Agri World?
It's Hive World.
Yeah. Because earlier you said something about Agri World, and I wasn't sure if that was...
Don't believe that said Agri World.
Well, I think I heard it, but that's fine.
So, let's give you an idea of what you're looking at as y'all head towards the Hive City. Now, you're heading towards the upper end of the Hive City. Now, as I mentioned, as you look down, you see that the water is a mixture of various colors, that being dark and sickly yellow to greenish. It's all chemical waste from the Hive cities have polluted the entire planet itself.
Water look. No, I can't make that statement. Never mind. So, how's it look down there?
I actually don't bother looking outside. I don't like flying.
Why not?
Bad memories.
Oh, do we have a tale coming up right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
What's
trying
happened
to
to Olaf
think of
in
it
his
on
history?
fly. I'm trying to think of it on fly, so I'll keep it.
You get a lot of those.
Looking out and down, I kind of internally shudder because water doesn't do good things with most electronics, especially that water. But not having seen much water, it's kind of an interesting sight because
Let's
my
do
planet's
the
almost
first
all dead.
roll of the game. Metal, I want you to go ahead and let's get your skills. Let's see what would be good for this one. Looking for a knowledge. What would knowledge be under?
Scholar? I have scholar, but
Yep, scholar would be
Right,
it.
maybe?
All right. In this case, I only want Metal to do a scholar roll. Do that for me, please, Metal.
I don't have it trained.
That's fine. So how you can do the skill check is you're going to go to the character sheet. Most rolls now are going to be under the More Core tab. You just did it. All right, so we're looking at... we have pretty much 2 successes. So let's go ahead and talk about how we actually are going to read how these dice rolls work. So, dice in Wrath and Glory are all d6s. Now, on the d6 itself, the numbers 1, 2, and 3 mean absolutely nothing. It's a fail. The numbers 4 and above are successes, whereas a 6 is, think of it as an extra success. So they're typically called icons, but just for right now, and with I'll go ahead and mention right now Dan from Fancy Grounds because he did make this, and that's a fantastic guy. Helped me with The Witcher also, so thank you, Damned. But yes, if you look at this, a 4 and 5 count as 1 success, and a 6 counts as 2 successes. You're also going to see the red dice that was rolled. That's going to be called the Wrath dice. This is the one that can cause complications as well as criticals. Now, he did fail on the 3 normal dice, but his actual Wrath dice did actually crit. What this means is a couple things. He's going to learn some information because... Actually, no, he did pass the test. The difficulty was 3.
How do you actually roll? Because in my sheet it doesn't have a button to roll on any of the skills.
So bottom left, right, you have dice pool.
No, we don't use dice pool no more.
We don't use dice pool anymore? What?
Yeah. We use all from the character sheet. Okay, so let's do this.
Okay.
Let's just make this easy.
Because I don't have a button to roll for my skills.
Do you see where it says WNG, Wrath and Glory?
No, on my skill section it just has a modifier box and the star. Like, take a look at the
Yeah,
sheet
so you
again.
click on the modifier box, and
Yeah,
then you
it's a
click on
plus with
skill.
the underline.
So you would click on Scholar, which is the modifier, and then the skill, which is Intellect.
Yes.
It doesn't... What? It doesn't... When I click modifier, it just kind of flashes a star for a second and
Yes.
doesn't do anything.
Okay.
And then you
so
click on Intellect.
You're gonna
so when you
roll.
click-
You're gonna roll a lot of dice right now when you do this.
Oh, Jesus. No, it's just...
Okay, but you did a lot of
Let's
things.
make it work.
Oops.
Actually, because her modifier was 0, that's why. So she didn't roll any extra dice.
Right? So what it is you click your modifier first, and
Oh,
then
it works.
your
Okay.
ability.
I get it.
Yes.
Okay, there
So
it
you
goes.
only click the modifier once, and then you click the attribute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's much easier than building dice pool as we did it last time.
Yeah.
Okay, I was unaware of how to do it. Thank you.
Now that we know. Alright, so I was looking for a standard success, or a standard difficulty roll, which would be 3. In this case, he did fail, because he only got 2. So how we read his roll, so go look at the first one for metal, where it shows fail 3, success is 0, but epic success is 1. Now, just because of the way it's laid out in Fancy Grounds, the epic success counts as actually 2, because it's a 6. So 6 actually counts as 2. In this case, he got a total of 2 successes, but he still failed because he needed 3.
Yeah.
But there are a couple things that happen when you roll a 6 on the rat dice. You gain a glory to the glory pool. So right now, who's gonna keep track of glory?
I have it open.
All right, so Metal, you're the one to keep track of glory. So, all right, we got it. Very, very good. Now, here's how we're going to know. Actually, here, I need to see. I might have actually bulked up. Everyone, do me a favor. Go to the combat tracker. Now, it's going to be the CT button in the top right. You should all know this from the Golden Glory game. You should see metal within the combat tracker. And I can't change where it says order, but it should be 1 listed in there. Do y'all see that?
Yep.
That 1 is the actual count of the glory. Now, glory is shared between all the players. Anyone can use it, although hopefully it's all within agreement when you use it. But when someone uses it, you need to tell Metal, because he's the one that's not going to keep track of glory for at least today's game. Now, if
Did
you want
we
to...
start with 0 glory, so we have
Yes.
1 now?
Yep, you start with 0, and you build them whenever you roll a 6 on the Wrath dice. Now, what can you do with glory, you might ask? Everyone, go to the character sheet. On the bottom left box, under the More Core tab, there's going to be a page that says Reference or Talents and Other. If it says Talents and Other, there's going to be a little book symbol. Click on that to change it to Reference. And within that, and I know Rue does not have one right now, so I'll go ahead and put it in there real quick.
Thank you.
You will see a couple things. You will see build cost, Wrath and Glory, combat effects, and combat. Click on Wrath and Glory, and it will show you what you can do with the glory pool. You can spend a point of glory to increase the dice pool. You can increase damage when you do it. You can increase the critical hit of an attack or seize the initiative, which we'll talk about if we ever go into combat in today's session. Now, everyone has 2 wrath. I need to put in Jeg's character sheet real quick. All right, so Jeg, you have 2 wrath. Everyone, if you look in the top left of your actual screen where all the portraits are, you all see a little diamond symbol that has the number 2. That is your wrath. Everyone starts with 2 wrath. You can get no more. You can get less by doing stuff, because you can spend it for rerolling failures, restore shock, improve your defiance checks, or you can actually do narrative declaration. Now, if you wanted to, Metallica, or Metal, I'm going to call you Metal because Metallica sounds kind of weird to me. Metal, would you want to use your wrath at all to perhaps re-roll that pool?
I mean, it's only a pool of 4, but sure.
Now, here's the thing. You don't actually re-roll the full pool. You re-roll all the dice that failed.
Oh, neat.
So, here's how we do this. Just so I can get everyone to know. And actually, Metal, I'm not going to have it cost a wrath, just so we can get an idea of how this works. So, you don't have on your character sheet wrath, Metal. So I'm going to add in a couple things. So you have the extra dice rolls. I'm going to put in some shifted dice things under combat. You can shift around if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So the shift are just the generic terms for adding dice. So what you want to do there, Metal, because you did fail the 3 dice you rolled, click on the shift 2 and then the extra dice roll to roll 3 dice.
Nope,
No, let me
didn't
see.
work.
Let me see that. Maybe that doesn't work that way. Okay. That is good to know. So let's go ahead and do this. Click the extra dice roll just 2 more times until we get a better way of doing this. Okay, so that's an extra success we threw in there. So he now has a total of 3 successes. So now he does pass that skill check. Now I'm going to mention, you do recall information there, Metal. This is going to relate to what you thought about with items being bad for water. That is true, but what you actually maybe recalled from looking through a data slate, or just when you're studying going to this world of Chardian, you actually realized and found out that there are several Mechanicus plants sitting on the ocean floor, being taken care of by numerous servitors as well as other tech priests of the Mechanicus.
Okay, so the water doesn't hurt you.
Oh, it can, but there are actual cities. Oh, I won't say cities, but there are actual structures from Mechanicus on the ocean floor of this world.
You said that there are tech priests down there, right?
Yes, but they're within the little structures, and they're factories on the ocean floor.
Okay, so it's like the buildings are kind of insulated.
Yes, they're pretty much watertight.
Nice.
But what you have read, Metal, is that of the numerous structures and facilities from the Mechanicus on the ocean floor, some of them have actually gone dark over time. Some have presumably been lost to erosion just from the chemicals in the water, or a massive damage or leak sprung and actually engulfed and drowned everyone within the facilities. So there are various ones on the bottom that are pretty much lost right now. And there have been expeditions by the Mechanicus to actually travel to some of these old lost facilities to gain technology since this planet has been found. So that's what you recall.
I'm kind of rambling this as I'm staring off into the water.
Fantastic. Y'all approach the Hive City Adon, and y'all seeing that you're making a beeline towards the upper hive. Now, typically how hives are situated is the higher you go, the better it gets. You have what's called the underhive and the upper hive. You can probably imagine how it means. Upper hive is where all the elite of a hive resides, where all the nobility, where all the very, very rich folk, and all the standard humans, the workforce of the hives, all the gangs, the scum, all the individuals, tend to reside in the underhive. Now, as you might imagine, just by looking at the water that is around these hive cities, the other hive, parts of it presumably are going to be underwater. So it's pretty much a bleak existence for the meager humans that try to survive throughout the Imperium in these kind of cities.
Not that I can see any of this, so. So Ren is just kind of leaned up against the window, kind of like. Their head is turned like they would be looking at the window, but like anybody observing them would obviously know that they're not.
Alright. The shuttle is making its way towards actually one of the tallest structures within Hive City Adon. And as you see, it's actually the governor's palace. And there are several what seem to be blisters, or what you would think would be the actual docking rings, or just landing pads around the governor's palace for private individuals or for very important individuals. But the Arbor shuttle is heading towards one of those. And as the shuttle nears the pad, you just see coming out of the governor's palace is 5 what seem to be enforcers, well armed. Most likely they're going to be the actual personal guard, or the personal enforcers for the governor's palace. The shuttle heads to the pad and lands down, hitting the struts and the landing mechanisms on, almost fell on my damn chair, and landing on the landing pad with a kind of a rough bump. You hear the hisses of the doors opening.
It's not a rough landing for you.
Oh, what was that?
I said it's a rough landing for us. It's not a rough landing for him.
I guess.
Either way, the doors do hiss open, and you're engulfed by kind of the smell that's coming from the hive. There's kind of a chemical sting to your nostrils, except for maybe possible Mel, because he's wearing most likely a mask. And even Olaf, is your mask on or is it off right now?
I guess it would be on.
Okay. So you see the helmet of Olaf, which is currently engaged and on right now. You see the orange visor ray, the lights coming from the optics of his helmet. But I would imagine Jeg and Ren, your nostrils do kind of burn with the smell, just the chemicals that these hives give off as they do their thing.
Ren, having no eyes, all of their senses are a lot stronger, so Ren immediately keels over and starts like hacking. Holy shit, it smells awful in here.
And immediately, one of the pilots just kind of pauses as he was kind of coming out to check on stuff within the shuttle. He sees Ren kind of hacking over, and he just pauses immediately. He knows a second. Here's what he can do. He's just afraid that a demon's about to possess the shuttle. So he just kind of pauses, just fear in his face as he looks at Ren. His hand slowly going to a last pistol that's at his side.
I mean, seeing Pilot's reaction, I calm down to just the smell. She doesn't have filter or anything.
Shit.
I stop and look back, and I shoulder my rifle, and then I look at this person reaching for a weapon, and I kind of tilt my head slightly and just shake my head.
After a minute or two, Ren kind of gets a handle on it and is like, oh my god.
The pilot visibly relaxes now that he kind of sees that the rest of the party is, well, not worried about Ren. So he kind of relaxes and just shakes his head a little bit and just pretty much stops what he's doing and goes back to the cockpit and closes the door.
Ren didn't even, having not known of any of that going on, just starts walking off the ship.
Okay, so real quick, just if we do some little improv right now, I'm not really improv, but to see what everyone wants to say. So let's have everyone go ahead and describe what the character might look like, or some maybe personality quirks, or even if you all might have known each other before this. But for right now, just for the sake of the players, all of you, just get an idea of who is. So go ahead and introduce all of you to each other right now. Name and everything. What you are, maybe a personality, what you look like. Someone start.
This guitarist Metallica comes from the Forge world of Metallica. Of course, the name is actually Meta is the first part of the name, and then the designation just happened to fall on L1 and C4. But somebody somewhere decided that that was funny, Blaze the Omnissiah. So, it's a metallic, I want to say robot looking, but you can tell that there is flesh there because a pure AI is an abomination and will be shot on sight. There is a human, or at least pieces of human, inside controlling the robot. Quirks are he's very, I want to say stoic, quiet. There's a lot going on inside of his head that he doesn't let out to the world, but if you're in there, there's a constant drone of music constantly going, and it kind of drives you a little insane after a little while.
Very good. Who's next?
I'm trying to remember what planet I even came from. I don't even remember.
Maybe Aragorn.
Okay. I'm from the planet of Talon. I've been Pale Guardsman, and I've been to several battles, and because of surviving said battles, I've been very desensitized to death to the point where I just don't care about people dying at all. The only thing I care about is that it's the one that's gone in the fight. I only care about the fight and the mission. How I look? Did you ask how I look?
Yeah. What do they see when they look at you?
They see a Talon in Pale Guard's uniform, but worn down. It's been in battle, it's used, it's damaged and been repaired. It's definitely not a new uniform.
Very good. Who's next?
The rest I can go, I guess. So Olaf is, well, a scion. So being elite guard, well, not guardsman, elite human trooper from Valheim Ice World, well, whatever,
Valhalla.
just Valheim Ice World. Yeah, exactly. He's used to harsh environments. Well, being at Ice World, like, I actually prefer colder temperatures than hot planets. I idolize, to some degree, as much as every human idolizes space marines, but I particularly like Space Wolves because, well, there were only space marines I ever seen that came to my Ice World like twice, and they impressed me. So because of that, I kind of styled them after them with like gray hair and actually full out beard. Well, or bear? No, beard. You know what I'm saying.
I don't think you had a bear with you. It'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, bear. So yeah, I just dyed them like gray and whitish colors. However, I mean, you will not see me do often because I don't like taking off my helmet. I'm used to, well, being prepared, that is, in case like toxic gas comes in or whatever. I want to have my helmet on. What's that?
I said better than me.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I have that much in common with you that I no longer have my own eyes, but I have both changed into like implants. So they're like cybernetic eyes or whatever. Yeah, other than that, I'm pretty direct. What else? God damn it. I should have thought about that before session. Yeah, but I take my duty seriously. I'm very well aware of how the life of soldier goes, and I'm kind of prepared to die anytime.
I guess that leaves me. So
Yeah, the last
Ren
one.
is just a young human psyker who's basically only just gotten out of the academy. They were from McCrag, but they wouldn't really know that since they were scooped up early in life. but so they completely lack in any tact whatsoever. They have just like this permanent scowl on their face, and like I keep saying they because just kind of looking at them, you can't really tell whether they're male or female. The voice doesn't help, and it seems that they are so just entranced in they're just like very negative attitude about literally everything that they don't even really care anymore. They're just like, you know what, my gender is I don't care kind of thing.
Alright, from now on I'll refer to you as it.
It's dehumanizing.
Well, you just said yourself that you don't have much of a human in your do you?
Well, I'm not saying that he's not a human, but more of that he just literally doesn't care. Or they don't care. Jesus.
So, would you care if you was called a it then?
I mean, I as a player would like you to not do that, but
Oh, as a character.
as a character, Ren probably would be used to it. Because that was gonna be my last thing, was that, like, as a psyker, they have gotten this idea in their head so ingrained that they do not matter, that they are basically not even a human anymore. Because psykers are just so feared, and their powers are so fearsome, that people treat them like garbage. And so they're just so used to being treated that way that they just kind of came to believe it.
I think the proper terminology for a not male or female is a Z.
Don't go that way. I beg of you.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, let's get out of this game, please.
Okay, she's basically a tomboyish psychic. Or actually, that's the way I understood it, because or just you said overall that it's hard to distinguish them, but you're she.
It's
Okay.
hard to distinguish. Androgynous would be the term.
Yes.
Okay.
Their hair is dyed this like really bright, light, minty color, but you can tell that the roots are growing back in like a light brown.
Okay, so last thing I want from everyone is to go ahead and just kind of list or mention what you're actually carrying, because everyone has very distinct war gear, it looks like. So
Yeah, we should be aware of our.
yeah, mention what you guys are carrying.
capabilities,
So left to right, metal or meta, what are you carrying?
My galvanic war rifle is normally a metallic rifle, but we tend to adorn various wood carvings into it. My stock that would be pressed up against my shoulder is highly ornate carved wood, even though it's mostly grind covered and has various nicks and stuff. I keep those nicks as a token to the things that kept me alive.
All right, Ren.
Astropaths tend to have these like satchels that have like a strap across the front, and so most of my stuff is in there. But underneath the like at the waist, my coat kind of opens up, so on my belt, kind of hidden from view, is my last pistol. But the Psychon and my force rod, but the Psychona Mercy Blade is actually kind of strapped to the strap of my bag, so that it is visible that I have it, to kind of put people at ease.
Olaf.
Well, I'm obviously in a armor, so that's the first thing that that you see. It's Carapace armor. Also, I've got the graph sheet, as mentioned. 1 second, sorry. Sorry about that. I've got the graph sheet on my back, and below it, I actually got satchel with my personal stuff, like ration, stuff like that. Other than that, I've got a knife at my side, and big ass melta gun that I'm carrying.
And what does the melta gun do?
Well, shoots plasma. No, it actually doesn't shoot
does not
plasma.
shoot
That's
plasma.
plasma gun. Yeah, I'm actually not sure how to.
Most I believe are
lower
like
what the hell is
super
all
hot
that.
gases that just melt stuff.
So that's kind of like plasma, actually.
Well, plasma is actually like plasma. I believe the
Yeah,
melted gun is
it's
like
for
just
state of
gas. Yeah.
substance, but okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, you cannot really.
Standard Imperial armor, just lighter. The uniform is more desert color because I'm from the desert world, as well as a headscarf that covers everything except the eyes, as well as goggles.
Yeah, I suppose after hearing that, I could add that. Yeah, I've got like whitely colored armor because ice world and carapace armor. So it's basically, I think, the best that normal soldiers can get, other than power armors.
I do believe that is true.
I don't know how big a force rod actually is.
You don't know what? Sorry.
I don't know how big a force rod actually is. I kind of pictured it kind of like a baton, but
Isn't like
I
the first
think
one like a
it's
staff?
pretty accurate.
okay. Well, is it like I don't know whether it's like retractable or not. Basically,
Linked into Discord.
okay. Then it would probably be on their back then, actually, because I wasn't sure.
Jeez, that's actually quite big.
Yeah.
I would imagine you would use it as walking staff as well, while walking around.
We could. They probably
Like
use it when walking through new places, but other than that, they don't really need it.
Yeah, but I would imagine something like that they would just have on their back. They would kind of have it in the hand.
The
when
last
they're not
pistol
used.
is purposely hidden from view.
Well, from what I read, it's something of alien origin, so I obviously don't want that to be seen everywhere.
Well, it's kind of like, so, by putting the force rod on the back, it makes it seem like they're unarmed besides their powers.
Alright. Very good.
Self-defense.
Now, back to the scene at hand. The shuttle has landed. You all are now. You all took a glance at each other, and which you kind of observed real quick, especially while on the way down from the from your ship, the Litany of Hatred. As you all X out into the open air on the top of the hive, you do see the 5 enforcers standing in their armor, the planetary armor of Adon, the Hive of Adon, and don't really say anything. They're just kind of waiting for you to approach them before it seems to be just an escort to the governor's palace. They do know why you're here. That would have been obvious from just kind of the shuttle being coming in and getting access to the governor's palace, the top of the hive. In fact, one of the individuals will come and goes, "We'll escort you towards the governor's palace. Follow us, please."
Yes, sir.
I just go ahead and start following. I think I had walked up first anyway, so I'm still walking and just immediately start following them.
Okay. Once again, Ren, they don't have any. They have helmets. They have the carapace armor of the PDF forces here on the planet. But when they do look at you, once again, you're kind of getting apprehensive looks as well as just mistrust and even a slight tinge of hatred looking at you, with a slightly even more tinge of fear. But
Actually,
kinda-
before we continue, do you actually like project what you see somehow psionically, or are you actually fucking blind?
Well, okay, so the way that astropaths can see is that their telepathic powers give them a sort of near sense. Like, up to a certain range, I can kind of see impressions of people, but I can't necessarily... I can't see from a long distance, and I can't, pick up smaller details, so, like, their expression, I maybe caught the gist of it, but I didn't maybe see, like, the tinge of hatred, maybe, for example.
Okay. I mean, if I would to stick out tongue at you, would you like telepathically see that?
If you stood probably further than 15 feet away, no.
Okay.
But anyway, so seeing this, Ren kind of stops and knocks their visor back down over their face, and then just kind of stands at attention, just crosses their arms like, got a job to do, right?
And with that, once all of you form up with the enforcers, they do escort you through the streets of the Upper Hive. Now, what you're seeing as you start traveling towards the governor's palace, which is a bit in the distance, is that the Upper Hive is actually pretty lavish. The streets are actually meticulously clean. You see servitors all around picking up garbage, refuse, debris that might be blown in from the wind. Now, the servitors, for those of you who might not know, are the servants of the Mechanicus, and I do have a picture, so let me go ahead and show that real quick. Oh, I don't have it saved, though. Let's find it. Where's it at?
This place is weirdly clean. Like, disturbingly so.
But that's because you're in think of the nobles quarter, or just
Right.
the elite of the city, or the hive.
These are
I
the
should
rich
say.
people.
Yes,
It was
the
more
very
an
rich people.
observation on. It was more an observation on Ren's part than mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you're seeing things like these, the servants of the mechanics, which are going around just picking up garbage and refuse. You see them all about doing repair work, all amongst the hive, and they're just pretty much all around. And for the most part, they ignore you, you ignore them, and they're just kind of treated as just tools, really.
Well, they are zombies, basically.
Yeah. So there's pretty much tools.
Ren just kind of. Their head kind of follows as they pass one or two of them, and they just kind of go and keep walking.
Now, although the air does still burn your nostrils, and even Olaf, since your visor's down, your I guess your respiratory systems are engaged, and the respirator is engaged, you do actually see, like, maybe the reader within the optics of the mask registering that it is filtering out some slight chemicals within the air.
Then in that case, I'll tell to Ren. Well, looking at those readouts, no wonder you almost puked yourself.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm about to puke.
Bright illumination from all around. Now, as I mentioned, the streets, there's just wide avenues, very, very clean. You have vaulted arches showing huge statues of imperial heroes. Ugh, I can't talk. Imperial heroes, as well as the Aquila icons that loom pretty much everywhere, showing that this world belongs to the Imperium of Man. But as you travel, you eventually see and you approach the palace, which is made up of just kind of pure marble, very meticulously clean, and one very rare sight. There is one actual authentic living tree growing within a very, very small garden in front of the palace.
What the shit?
Something very, very rare.
Ren like stops and like is like, what the shit? Wait, how the fuck does this live here? But I'm about to goddamn pass out.
And with that, you see about 5 actual servitors come by, and these have been. You see that their hands are pretty much holding, I would say, like the water scoops or like the water pails, and they are meticulously cleaning, filtering the sand and the dirt, the little patch around the base of the tree, and just cleaning and just keeping it very, very clean and just watering it very meticulously.
When they kind of rush over, Ren immediately like backs up like, whoa, and then just kind of stands there watching for a second and is like, okay, that makes more sense. Hey,
Yeah.
shit, and like as he starts walking with the group again, he's like, hey, shit, I wonder if I can get like one of those respirators or some shit.
That could be a possibility, although no one says that to you. But
Yeah.
the doors, you just see one of the forces as you head towards the large double doors of the governor's palace. One of the enforcers does go into put his hand to his ear and speaks into one of the comm beads, and the doors open up, and the doors seem to be made of gold. But they open up into a very, very lavishly decorated interior. The hall of the palace, the entrance is red carpet, wide enough to hold probably 3 Levin Rust battle tanks side by side. It's huge. Once again, all just marble. On the sides, you got the pillars that are adorned with just kind of gold and jewels and just pretty much any person within the galaxy would just love to loot and ransack a place like this, but it's the governor's. It's a throne room. Pretty much the entire planet itself is right here, the governing palace. You see that there are large statues of also imperial heroes, as well as these giant tapestries and paintings showing depictions of the history of Imperium, seeing those of the Great Crusade, paintings of the Emperor, as well as the history of the Hive, Hive Adon, as well as Chardian, the planet itself.
I can't even tell what half this shit is, but I feel like this is the most lavish place I've ever seen in my life.
Probably all of us.
Definitely the cleanest.
Yeah, everyone here would be like, just pretty much probably stunned at just the sheer amount of wealth. I imagine most of you it's probably the first time even going into a governor's palace anywhere, and so just the sheer absurdity of the lifestyle is just kind of mind-blowing to all of you. But eventually,
I honestly feel violated, considering my conditions of living so far.
the enforcers don't take any notice, and they walk through the grand hall to what seems to be the actual an entry area or an entry room right before the throne room, and one turns towards all four of you and goes, "Please wait here while we prepare for Prefect Aurelius." And then they just leave.
Oh boy, I'm used to waiting. And Ren just crosses their arms again and kind of starts tilting their head to kind of half look around. Look around.
The interior is a nice blue glow. You do have what seem to be service skulls kind of floating around, carrying trails of paperwork and just some camera, possibly most likely surveillance. There are a couple that are actually watching the four of you. But one thing you do notice is that there is almost no noise. It's actually very, very quiet. Now, you're all used to kind of the hum, the thrum of the engines of the Litany of Hate when you're in orbit. It's just the sucking the air, the stale air. Within the palace, now that the doors are closed, the air is actually very, very clean. It's scrubbed. It's very, very nice. It's pleasant. It's nice. The lighting's nice. There's no sound. You can actually, you can hear your heartbeat, feel it, and it's just, it's very, very nice.
To my sensitive ears, I probably fucking hear my blood pumping or some shit. This is like one of those like, those chambers, you know, that.
Yeah, meditation chambers.
Yeah, those chambers that like make people go crazy because they can hear their blood pumping. So Ren kind of starts tapping their foot to make some sort of sound and takes a deep breath. Oh, it's much better in here.
I very subtly turn up the sound inside my head.
I don't like the quiet at all. It's too quiet for me and too clean as well. I'm used to the battlefield. Always noise, always the stench of the fight. You know.
God, your ears are
And
gone.
I will
Is there
actually take
anything
off my. Sorry, you go first.
I was just saying, is there anything around that looks dangerous towards us? Like, is there a gun port pointed at us?
Not that you're seeing visibly, but most likely they're probably going to be hidden placements. You don't see any servitors within the Grand Hall. You're in the antechamber right now. You don't see any servitors. You do see the service skulls. There are several kind of floating around. As I mentioned, some are stopped and just kind of floating there, probably about 12 feet high, about maybe 30 feet away. They're just kind of staring at you. There's about 3 of them. Most likely there's surveillance, just keeping track of you guys, make sure you don't do anything foolish or foolhardy.
Well, I suppose we came in unarmed, right?
No. You're equipped, yeah.
Okay.
We've got
Fine.
our stuff.
Yeah, but
Now,
I was going to
obviously
say
you walk in
that-
with like in your hands, they're like ready to shoot, but they're all holstered pretty much. The plasma pistol, probably the melta is probably like on your back or whatever it would be.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, because
But yeah, I was going to say that to appreciate the effort that went into cleaning the air, I will actually take off my corpus helmet for the time being.
okay,
Let my beard.
Ren kind of looks over at the boot.
probably all like matted, like sweaty, probably.
Yeah. At the motion, Ren kind of looks over and is like, Whoa, he's actually taken off his helmet. This air must be really clean.
And you'll see the first time, Olaf, is your eyes normal, or do they look normal, I should say? Do they look normal?
No, they don't look normal. I mean, well, they are looking like they're not like especially like fucking weird looking. I mean, they're basically cybernetic eyes, and it's visible, right? Or like whatever.
Dude, it's not
sticking
like
out
the crazy
or
mechanic is ones where they
thing.
stick out, but they
Yeah,
can
it's
tell they're
something-
cybernetic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that if if someone's wealthy enough, he can like have perfect replacement for eyesight, but that's not the purpose of those,
Yeah.
right? They're supposed to be tactical and whatever.
With my weird impression sense, can I even tell? I don't think I can even tell, can I?
I mean, can you like tell if something's like mechanical or whatever? Like, can you tell something is a gun
I mean,
or mechanism?
yeah. Like I can't
I
tell
mean-
a color or like if it's not a deep enough impression, I can't tell.
Ah, okay. Hmm.
It's you get me?
Yeah, I get you.
But so
Fine.
The
So
doors in the back of the antechamber, the back of the antechamber that heads towards the actual throne room, just open up. And that same enforcer that actually was directing you earlier comes out and goes, "The prefect will seek you now. Please follow me."
and Ren starts following.
You go from the antechamber into the main audience chamber, or the actual governor's throne room. And you see the throne itself, and it's just also lavishly decorated, adorned with jewels, signs of the Aquila all over the place on it. So the huge Aquila is on the actual head of the throne, cushioned, but it is empty. Because we know, as the request from Veronius, is that the governor has gone missing. But what you do see seated at a small little seat to the right of the throne, very much low, almost in behind, you see a man in red robes with these giant tubes coming out of his head and a giant cogitator machine at his chest, streaming just papers. And he's kind of looking down at it as the enforcer walks before you into the throne room. And once you get inside, after a brief moment, the enforcer goes, and the individual looks up. And I got a picture of him.
Oh wow, dude, you look like shit.
Yeah,
Wait,
Like,
do
Ren
you say
actually
that?
says
Do you
that.
say that out
Yeah,
loud?
he actually says that out loud. Wow, dude, shit.
I think I would look at you horrified if you what you're saying.
Ren has no tact.
He kind of stares at you, Ren, a little bit longer than he does the rest. Then he clears his throat.
Would the like etiquette be to like kneel or something like that?
I'd say no.
But I mean, I guess there is some like what should I say? I mean, like there has to be some sort of greeting for someone so much higher up than you,
I don't know.
right?
After being stared at for a second, Ren kind of follows up by saying, although I guess probably about as bad as I do, huh?
So,
We're
you're
gonna die.
Jekyll Veronius' neutral investigators, I take it.
Yes, sir.
He regards all of you critically, sniffs, and then you see him pull a little small purple object from a bowl at his side. He's still sitting down, and he kind of pops it into his mouth, starts chewing a little bit.
Ren kind of leans forward, trying to figure out what those might be in the bowl.
Give me 1 second. You'll do, I suppose. But understand this. Jackal may operate under an imperial warrant, but you do not. I allow you, as a courtesy to the esteemed rogue trader, an account of our mutual goals. But you are not, I repeat, not under any circumstances to make the situation worse. Is that understood? There are to be no accusations without proof. Your presence here is under the auspices of the rogue trader, and that grants you certain latitudes and liberties. But it does not grant you authority. You're to extend the Hive's nobles the respect, as he stares at you, Ren, they are accustomed to during the course of this investigation. Is that clear?
After
Good.
being given actual instructions, Ren suddenly straightens up to attention and goes, "Yes, sir."
Smart quirk from the corner of his mouth.
I'm
Good.
here to collect hard data for the Omnissiah, and Omnissiah providing and willing, we will get to the bottom of whatever needs to be getting to the bottom of.
Very good. Now, what do you need to know? Quickly. I don't really have time to spare on this endeavor. And he kind of sighs very, I mean, keep talking a little bit. He does sigh very visibly. He goes, normally, the enforcers would handle something like this, he mutters. But they are busy suppressing riots in the other hives. Chardian is suffering from seething planet-wide unrest. And if we don't solve this murder quickly, things are only going to get worse. Now, real quickly, Ren, go ahead and give me a... in terms of this thing...
This is awareness, because if so, that's gonna be
Yep.
fun.
Give me awareness. We're going to raise difficulty because you actually aren't looking at it with your eyes, so we'll see. So, since we're going to make it 5 difficulty, you have horribly failed.
Have no fucking idea. Well, yeah, no, I don't even have a chance of getting 5. Like, there's no way.
Alright, so you actually got a critical
Technically-
failure, which means some things interesting happen. You're actually
Oh,
going
God.
to give me my own form of glory.
Oh boy. All for trying to figure out what's in a fucking bowl.
How am I to keep track of my own glory? Let's see, let's do this. Let's go to images. I have my... So I had the original glory thing I was using. I'll use that for myself then. That'll work. Now, there are multiple ways to use a critical fail. I guess the default would be to give me what's called Ruin, which is my version of your guys' glory.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also do a couple things. We can do, for example, like in combat, it can cause you to run out of ammunition. It can cause a bit of shift to the scene. It might be something we're both supposed to discuss between like a player and the GM to make something interesting happen. Now, ultimately, my goal is not to kill you guys, to have a fun game, fun experience for the players. So I'm not going to be a DM. I'm not going to be like Golden Glory. I'm not going to go out of my way to kill you guys. I will try to challenge you, but I'm not going to have the Golden Glory mindset in this game. So.
I figure I could just draw some kind of false conclusion.
You think that perhaps this is like a black maybe pill? Perhaps you believe this makes them intelligent. Perhaps maybe it's wealth. Maybe it's just something that these people chew on to be the best. You're not sure what it is. Would
Spies.
anyone else wish to maybe try to see? He's very obvious when he does it. So, everyone, go ahead and give me an awareness check, please.
Ren kind of goes,
So it's awareness plus intellect? Oh, Jesus, that's a big one.
How'd you get so much damn dice there?
I think I clicked something else on accident.
Yeah, if you guys click on the modifiers, you are actually going to fill up the modifiers on the left. So I'd hope you guys to try not to click on it. Okay, it looks a little better.
How did I do it again?
Okay,
So click on your awareness skill, the plus minus, once, and then click on the intellect, WNG, and that should roll it.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, kids.
I wonder what I think.
Yeah, kids. You actually
So-
clicked on awareness twice.
Oh, I actually didn't, but okay.
Yeah, you can read it in chat. So
Yeah, I know, but I actually didn't. I swear to God, I didn't click it.
it might have been from earlier. It's something we have to learn as we try this out.
yeah.
Guys, I need to ask you for 1 minute, all right? I'll just be right back. You can continue. Yeah, I'll catch
Okay.
up.
The point is, nobody has any idea what this is.
Well, no. The difficulty was 5 for you, Rand, because, well, you're blind. Everyone else would have been 3. So I do believe that Meadows' last. Well, I'll use the one. I'll use the legitimate one. In this case, so for right now,
Okay,
just
yeah,
for
no,
the
I
rule,
love that too.
if you do a pool that is incorrect, we're just going to ignore it. So we'll ignore the critical fail that Meta just did. We'll go with the actual legitimate pool, which would have been the second one where you got a 2 on the rat dice. And then looks like Jeg got. Actually, Jeg didn't pass. He only got 2 successes.
Yep. And then
Olaf has an epic failure, though.
Yep.
He does. But Meta, you know that these are fruit. He's popping really, really expensive grapes in his mouth and eating them. They are extremely rare and extremely expensive. They're the
Just
food
popping
of
them like
luxury.
candy.
Yeah.
I just calculate how much waste is going on and shake my head.
Ren just kind of went, and then kind of stepped backwards. Like, after, because, he's asking what everybody wants to know, so Ren kind of stepped backwards away from the group. Like, he didn't have anything, like, they didn't have anything to say, almost.
Alright. Now he is staring at all of you for any questions. Unless you automatically already
Where did
know.
the governor disappear from? Where was he last seen?
Alright.
Right, I'm back.
Alright, so Meta, go ahead and build me. No, can't build me. I'm not going to build pools in this game. Go ahead and roll me your persuasion test, please.
Persuasion.
Woo, that's all failures. You wish to re-roll, or are you keeping that? We will go with... Okay, so real quick thing I didn't mention. So, Wrath. So, Wrath actually does refresh at the beginning of every session. You go back to 2. Also, Wrath comes back if you do... Think of it as a long rest in D&D terms. If you actually sleep, you actually will gain back your Wrath. So, re-roll the entire thing again, because you did fail.
So
All right.
That's a 4.
That is 4. Okay. So, he now goes on a little bit. Infighting isn't uncommon amongst the younger nobles. Rivalries flare in these uncertain times, but they rarely lead to deaths. And actually, I kind of went out of order real quick. He goes, the governor was last seen within his chambers.
I'm assuming his chambers had the servitors, the ones that are basically cameras. Do we have access to those logs?
At the time, there were no service skulls within his room. Although no surveillance showed that anyone entered or exited his room. But
I just nod and
here
smile.
is what we do know. There have been 4 bodies found within the last month. Mirit Termnar, Kivan Triss, Larson Keel, and Axon Volus. I'll go ahead and type this out so you guys can get this. Give me 1 second.
Are there any connections between them?
Give me 1 second.
All right.
So we got Timnar, we have Kevin Triss.
And these bodies were, out of character, like, these bodies were found just kind of around?
They were found within their homes as well as the locations where they were killed. Some were
Okay.
in the streets, some were within their homes.
But these events were all connected, we're assuming?
Maybe what rank were these people?
It's kind of hard because Ren is assuming he's not really authorized to ask any questions. That's why he stepped backwards, so he's not asking anything. And that's why I'm kind of scrambling for information right now.
Wait 1 second. We don't have any leads against the governor's palace, but we do believe that these 4 individuals are linked themselves. Now, all 4 of these are with the nobility within Hive Adon. Now, unfortunately, with these deaths, it has caused some of the families to start to point fingers and accuse each other. What we're afraid of within Adon is in full-blown war breaking out between the nobility, which is why you're here. You're here to investigate, find out the cause of this, and the sooner we do this, the faster we can get a successor to acquire the throne. We still have small hope for what's his name? For Governor Ganthet Veneratio to come back, but as each day passes, it seems more and more likely that he is dead.
Any suspects on the killings?
None that we know, no. But the crime scenes of these, the latest one was very, very recent. Axon Volus.
Sounds like a good place to any to start.
Wait, who was Axon Volus?
The one of the guys that were killed.
Well, no, he was the last one seen?
Yeah, the last one killed, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What kind of security did the governor have when he disappeared?
Typically, the enforcers that are within the palace itself, as well as the numerous surveillances outside, but there was none within his room by his own request when he became governor. Although we now see the results of that request.
Have any other enforcers been suspected for involvement in the disappearing?
All the enforcers within the palace have been interrogated. But our only lead right now is that it is infighting amongst the nobles, and perhaps one noble or one family is causing this. As I mentioned, it is not uncommon for the younger ones to have a rivalry flare, and in these uncertain times, these deaths can lead to much chaos. Having these 4 in such a short time is bad for our planet and the Idon Hive. Our greatest worry is that this is a prelude to war amongst the nobles, or is being framed as such by an unknown party for political gain. We just don't know who or what.
I was actually going to ask if there's anyone more or less obvious that would benefit from chaos that would, happen if the war came into thing. Like, I don't know, maybe one of the nobility has like bigger military presence that would just take over and stuff like that.
I think that's what we're here to find out.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I was thinking if there's like someone distinguished, like
None
I guess I
obvious
was
right
asking
now,
for
no, unless it is hidden.
Okay.
Have any of the enforcers gotten richer after the disappearance? Like maybe they've been paid?
No, we've been keeping watch on all the forces within the palace since the initial time the governor has disappeared. Nothing has stood out as unordinary.
I think we could either start by inspecting the governor's office or go to Axon's last location.
The murder site is the most recent one, yes?
Yes. We are still combing through a bit of the governor's room, so that for the time being is off limits. But Axon Volus, who was the most recent, crime scene still very fresh.
I say we start at the crime scene of Axon Volus, because
Yeah.
the other place might have gone cold by this time.
For the first time in this entire, in the rest of this conversation, Ren speaks up and says, "Where would this crime scene be, sir?"
I will have one of my enforcers escort you to the apartment. It is but a brief moment away.
And Ren gives a curt nod and kind of turns away from everybody, waiting for everybody to be ready to go.
You see that, I keep forgetting these guys' damn name. Prefect Aurelius. You see that he does kind of a small smirk again towards you, Ren, once he kind of had you correct yourself and the way you kind of talked to him.
Well, it was kind of a thing of like, Ren is just kind of an asshole, but he is still a professional asshole.
Or give you assholes to people underneath your station. We'll put it that way also. Real quick, I need to go real quick bathroom break, so everyone needs to go and do that, and I'll be back in a little bit.
There is no one underneath my station.
Guardsmen would be underneath you.
No, they wouldn't, actually. Psychers are even below them.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
servitors then.
Well, servitors are below you.
Yeah, okay, servitors maybe, but in terms of
Edicles.
military rank and everything, and basically anything else,
Xenos.
Yeah,
What
Xenos
yeah,
and
yes.
servitors. Yeah, basically.
about
Hardly.
recruits?
What about mutants? Like Ogrins and stuff like that.
I don't know about mutants, but I don't think Psychers would be necessarily higher than them.
Well,
Psychers are kind of
Maybe-
like... I think that Psychers might be on the level of Servitor, actually, because they're kind of... Psychers are sort of like a tool. They're like a necessary evil that the Imperium has to deal with.
That might be for the normal Imperials, but once again, you're part of a Rogue Trader's warband, so you're granted
Right.
more leniency.
Yeah.
So actually, on the Rogue Trader ship, you're, like I said, as a warband, you're above the typical guardsman or the typical soldier in the warband, because he's going to have soldiers in a small army in his flotilla in case he goes to a planet that needs to be overrun. So you're going to be feared by a lot of people, but as it goes, you're actually above pretty much everyone within the flotilla. Now, once you go to another planet, that might change again, but within the forces of the Rogue Trader, you're high up. You're just
Oh, alright.
really, really disliked high up to the point where people wouldn't be thinking bad about shooting you in the back if they had a chance. So,
Fair enough.
yeah, like if you're on a battlefield, you have like a squad of soldiers behind you, like, oh, oops, as one shoots you. I mean, that could be a definite issue. So,
I guess.
Honest, she started speaking in different tones, and we thought it was a demon. So just to save the emperor.
all right. So we're heading back, right?
yep, he's the forces now are taking you towards Axon Vols's apartment. Now, as you're heading towards once again, the upper hive of the city, once again, you're seeing just kind of lavish lifestyles, the cleanliness of the streets, the amount of servitors all about, and just the archways, and just the structure-wise. Now, the one enforcer sergeant that's with you, he does turn towards you, Olaf. Your mask is now off, right? Still.
Yeah, it's off.
Okay. So he does see now. He does pay attention to Jeg, seeing that he's from the I believe it's the Rough Riders, but he does see that you are Tempestus Scion. I mean, he sees the armor of the Tempestus Scion, so he knows a little more than the typical. What was it?
Desert Riders, Talon Desert Riders.
Talon Desert Riders. But he does see the Tempestus Scion. He does know a bit about the actual military of the Imperium, not the Planetary Defense Forces, and how you are kind of like specialized soldiers. You're more respected amongst the group, I would say, since you're the most clearly towards him when it comes to familiarity. But he does look at you and he goes, do you have any questions about the other murders? I did have a hand in some of the initial investigation. That being Larson Keel, Kevin Triss, and Merit Termnar.
Well, thank you for coming forward with it. I suppose, were they killed in similar or same manner?
Not quite similar or same locations. The first one that was killed was Larson Keel. Initially, it was viewed as a fatal robbery. He had been stabbed to death after leaving a delinquent smoking den that nobles often frequent. All of his paraphernalia, his smoking paraphernalia, was taken along with his ears. It was thought as though this disfigurement was symbolic, that Keel had overheard something he shouldn't have. The Keel clan is beholden to House Hastus, which controls the algae processing factorums on the lower west side of the hive.
Did any other victims have parts of them cut in similar manner?
Yes.
Could you
Kevin
elaborate?
Triss was the second. Another very minor noble was killed while walking home after seeing her lover. She was also stabbed and robbed. The embroidered cloak that her lover gave to her, that he said she was wearing when she left, was never found, nor were her feet.
Maybe so. This isn't Ren talking. This is me talking. So like maybe she went somewhere she shouldn't have.
Before others.
Yeah, let's see what the others had cut off.
Yeah,
we
any
can
more
think
bullet
about
was
it.
taken?
The
While
feet
he-
were taken on Kevin Triss.
While he's discussing this, can I do an insight check to make sure he's saying the truth, or is he
Absolutely.
remembering this from a story he was told?
Yep. Throw me an insight. Alright, 4 successes with epic failure. He does seem to be very much telling the truth. He's saying it with a very, very curt, I'll say, professional manner. And he's kind of just recalling it off of what he knows, as he was part of, not really part, but he did kind of oversee the investigations and the other forces that kind of did the slight investigations at first. But he also does notice that you're kind of eyeing him up. And he does look at you, Meta. Now, you're wearing a mask, so I guess we wouldn't be able to tell your face reaction, but perhaps just maybe the way you kind of are just walking as he's walking, you're just kind of staring at him. And maybe just gets maybe the inkling.
Staring at him.
Maybe
Like the lights in the eye, the lights in the eyes, probably.
or maybe he hears the zoom of your optics. It just kind of zooms in way too far. He just hears it like nonstop, and he goes, "I am telling the truth here. I have nothing to hide. I have served the governor for the last 30 years."
I just smile my sweetest smile. If you want me to roll persuasion, I can. Just say, just getting hard data, sir. Just the facts.
No, it's already done. You got the one.
Yeah, I apologize. Don't mind him. You know how the mechanics are.
Merit
It was.
Termnar, the third one. He kind of continues now, a little pissed off, probably a little bit. A lesser noble of a family associated with House Hastus was knifed to death in his own bed 5 days ago. Both legs were removed, though the killer did leave the feet behind.
Okay, and this is not this is me speaking of the cat, but it sounds like each person has an unique body part taken, like a building a different person out of different body parts.
Yeah, they're making us fucking Frankenstein.
Yes,
different body parts.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, I that's funny because I actually thought of the same thing. That okay, they're taking different parts and they're gonna fucking sew them together.
At this point,
Or maybe that there is someone they're trying to rebuild. Bring back bring someone back to life or something.
as
And it will
as
replace damaged parts.
as you guys are making this theory together, Ren finally speaks up again and says, do you know anything of Axon Volus?
Last guy.
Yes, this of the Enforcer?
Yeah.
No, just that he was another noble. His death was last night.
Oh, so I guess we'll witness what if he is missing something. But also,
The crime scene is still extremely fresh. In fact, here we are as you do come to the actual apartment within the upper hive, and there is seem to be 3 enforcers standing guard out front, not letting anyone come in. But you do see that there are server skulls going in and out, kind of repeatedly through the above the heads within his apartment.
Have the body been examined?
Not yet. Once we learned that you're arriving, what are his names? From Prefect O'Reilly's, we were instructed to let you investigate for your investigation. All right. As you head into Axon Volus' apartment, you see that it is really bright and very, very spacious with a very, very open living area. Kind of the floor plan of the place is very, very nice, very open. Overlooks 2-story, and the second story overlooks the first level. It's a giant balcony where the bedroom would be.
Balcony,
And-
like he slept out, like he kind of...
Well, it's kind of like a loft. There's a balcony within the apartment itself. So the balcony within the apartment
Oh.
overlooks the first level.
Yeah, okay, it's a loft, okay.
And directly underneath that balcony is the body of Axon Volus. And right now it's currently covered in a very, very expensive looking cape. And it is stained with blood, and there's a giant blood pool that has been stained and spread out underneath the body. But there's, interestingly, where the blood has spread out, the giant pool, there is a very, very curious gap at one corner, as if something interrupted when the blood was spreading and is no longer there.
so the blood is like dried up, basically, there, like around whatever that object was. It's like dried up around it. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, we're looking at the object. Is it gun-shaped or knife-shaped, or can we tell?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Can I do this too? Because I kind of had the same
Yeah.
question, but I had a somewhat different question.
I guess all of us can.
I more so wondered if it was kind of like it might be a box or something.
It looks like
I
our,
don't know.
our detective robot.
Ren fails.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and use a rat to try to do this again. So I rolled 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, stop! No fucking idea.
Okay. But Meta does actually figure it out. So, Meta, what you get is that whatever was there was round, and it was removed after the blood has actually stopped flowing. Now, judging by the size and position and a few fur fibers that were left behind, it was most likely an exotic rug of some sort.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's quite big actually.
Yes.
Okay.
And whatever that was, you see the fibers around that area, and whatever was there is no longer there. If it was a rug, most likely what you get in now from that investigation roll is no longer there. It was a
Mhm.
theft.
Can we uncover the body from under the material, or
Absolutely.
we can't?
With this, once you're now looking around and you kind of all went towards the blood spot, looking around, the enforcer and everyone else has actually stood back and are now actually letting you do your thing as they all leave the room. They still have the escort, or they have not the escort, but they have the guards at the front, the entrance of his apartment, but he is left to you do your investigation. He doesn't want to interrupt your investigation now. That you're here on the Rogue Trader's orders to actually fix this issue. Plus, his enforcers are not investigators; they are enforcers. You're the investigators.
Oh,
So,
in that
what do you wish to
case,
investigate?
we want to see his body, I suppose.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you go over to the body, and you see that he's still in his sleeping robes, which are all bloody and crumpled. And as you kind of move the cloak slightly, so you can get a better look at his body, you see that his neck is twisted at a very unnatural angle. Although, that is not his only injury. As you look, and now you kind of take a small guess from what you heard about the other murders, you see that something is similar. His hands are both missing. And they are what's causing the pool of blood, as the hands are no longer there. Everyone that's watching, go ahead and give me a Medicaid test.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Is this site-based?
Yes.
It's
So
interesting.
for you, Ren, it might not be that. I mean, you can do it, Ren, but it'll probably be a much harder difficulty for you.
So
Well, I
then-
rolled 6, but 1.
Nope, I'm fucked.
So,
So-
Medicaid plus intelligence.
So I'll throw another glory into the pool. So go ahead and add one more glory to the pool, Meta.
1 second.
And Ola.
Medicaid plus intelligence.
Yes.
Intellect?
Jesus
Oh, nice.
Christ.
Oh, and another one. Add in 2 total.
You don't add mine because
Copy,
I
copy.
failed, right?
Well, no.
It has to be
You
successful.
fail the check, but you still get the glory because you did roll a 6 on the
So
rat
that's
dice.
free. So that's 3 glories.
Oh yeah, because Meta got one also. Actually, all 3 of you got one. Nice. Yeah, so Meta, Olaf, and Jag all add in a glory to the pool. Now the max glory is 6. So once you guys get to 6,
Yeah, I
No
was
longer
about to
use.
ask. Can we just fucking milk glory like that?
actually, can you use
Okay.
glory after you roll? I wonder if you can.
I don't know. There's increased dice pool, so I guess no. It would mean that kind of you increase dice pool before you roll the dice.
I think you can increase the dice pool after. I believe. Let me see.
Really? I mean, that would be cool.
I think it was mentioned on the character sheet. Let me see if I look at the character sheet real quick. Because I'll probably allow it after you roll on this roll. So let's see.
It'll be kind of like with Benny's in
Yeah, so the thing I like about
South
Wrath and
Lines.
Glory, it actually has a lot of like stuff from other rule sets I like into this. That's actually really like it. 'Cause I think
Kinda
honestly, I
reminds me
think
of
I'm really gonna
South
like this rule system. Let me take a look at the character sheet real quick. So I do think you can. All right, so spend glory to add 1d to a test after any rerolls.
after rerolls.
After any rerolls.
So I
So
re-rolled,
would
but I
we have to,
failed, so
like-
what do I do?
Alright, so
Right.
since you did reroll and you did fail, Ren, you can spend as many glories as you want. Now it's up to the group. If like they say no, then you have to talk amongst each other. But
Yeah.
you can, if you want to, you can spend some glory to roll some more. But I will say this: between Jeg and Meta,
Yeah.
the information will be found. So it would be kind of a waste to use the glory pool.
Yeah, I just wanted to know for the future because I feel like this is becoming a recurring thing with my character, and I don't want to be completely useless the entire game. Because if you haven't noticed, I haven't succeeded a single check.
Yep. We've only done like 2 checks so far. Anyways, let's go with what we've now found. Plus, we have targets for advancement. We have goals for advancement now. All right. So both of you.
Sorry, has the body been stabbed?
I'm about to mention right now.
Okay.
So Jag and I'm gonna need more information because of the success of the rolls. So for Jag and Meta, what you do know is that the hands were clipped, very very cleanly snipped off, post-mortem, after death, and it was by some sort of powered clippers. But his other injuries, what most likely seems to be his actual death, is the fall.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Does it look like he just snapped his neck after
Yes,
falling?
his injuries are consistent with a fall. Now, what you're able to tell is that by rigor mortis, he died about 36 hours ago. So between 12 and 2 a.m.
Does that seem to imply that he probably didn't die instantly from the fall?
The fall is probably what snapped his neck.
Yeah, considering
Okay,
his
so
neck
he
is
did
like
die.
the other side. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very clear that his neck is what killed him. His neck snapping from the fall. But what you can tell is that his hands were cleanly cut off after his death.
Right. I want to, with that in mind, because I assume they shared that information, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so with that in mind, I want to climb up to the loft, and I want to try to search around to see if there were signs of a struggle.
What did you say was used to cut the hands?
It would have been some sort of powered clippers.
So it would have made a noise then?
Possibly. Like
There are-
giant powered like scissors.
So
Is that-
we
is it
could
a-
ask around to ask if somebody heard something.
You could.
Maybe.
We would have to ask around. Yeah.
But
When
What
you
I
mentioned
want-
that, so Jag kind of mentioned a little bit like if there was something machinery-wise, did someone hear anything? And actually, that sergeant will come into the room, and he'll mention, I'll just say, we actually asked around for any individuals that might have heard what might have happened, and he actually bangs the wall, and it makes almost no noise. These
Oh!
bulkheads are very, very thick, and they provide a lot of privacy. Thus, no one saw or heard anything. We only found his body when the cleaning servitor for the morning found him.
Is that who's saying that? The soldier
The
that
enforcer.
guided us here, or
Yeah.
the enforcer that guided us? Okay. Actually, shit, what did I want to ask?
Well, while you figure that out, I want
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
like I said, I wanted to climb up to the loft and see if I could tell if there were signs of a struggle of some kind.
Okay, so
or-
I'll go to you real quick, Rug. Or, not Rug, Ren. So you can tell there actually were signs of a struggle. There are tossed sheets, knocked over tables, scattered personal effects. It looks like Volus was awake before whoever tried to kill, or whoever killed him, could actually murder him in bed. He attempted to fight back. However, it is unclear if the fall was accidental or deliberate. Go ahead and give me an
Right.
investigation check.
I figured that was coming. This could be good. Ooh!
Oh, nice! 5, alright.
That's a spicy
So-
roll.
That's a good roll. Alright, so you actually notice that Volus has his clothing set aside for most likely the next morning. You see that there are the boots, his breeches, his undergarments, jacket, belt, and jewelry are all set in a neat little laid out pile next to the bed for him to pretty much pick up and wear when he wakes up. However, it seems out of place that there is no shirt laid out. Now you can't tell if it was an oversight or if it's missing, perhaps taken. But judging by the rest of the wardrobe, you can tell that it most likely would have been a purple color based on the trousers, the boots, the jewelry. All has a purple tone.
You said the other murders were there were some robberies valuables were taken?
What?
Yeah, like the rag was taken, some valuables were taken.
No,
Yeah.
the other ones. The
Yeah, the
previous
other
ones.
ones as well. Yeah, they were all robbed as well.
Everyone was robbed, yeah.
Yeah, that
And
could be
you
distraction.
just said there was jewelry on the table.
There was, well, I haven't gotten to say that yet, so Ren was gonna walk over towards the side of the loft and was gonna say, yo, looks like, he must have fought back. Some stuff's been taken up here too, but his jewelry is, like, still here. They just took a shirt or something.
If he fought up there, how did he get down here?
Either he fell or he was pushed. But I can't tell from up here which one it would have been.
Can the robbers have been attempt to cover up the murders? Maybe.
I mean, you said that the neck snap was the cause of death, right?
Yes, but on the other murders there were stuff taken as well. Can there be an attempt to cover up what the intent is?
The intent? Yeah, possibly. Might be stealing things to make it look like it was a murder and robbery, but could have been that whole family rivalry thing that they mentioned.
Real quick, Jag, go ahead and give me an investigation roll, please.
3.
All right. Jag, what you can tell is that there are some other things that seem to be slightly out of place. And you might bring that attention to the other individuals, the warband. Y'all take a look and you see that there is what would have been a pair of candle holders, but only one has been left. On either side of the nightstand, there's 2 nightstands on either side of the bed, and a Solus night lamp on one side is there, but the other one you can see because there is a ring of slight dust around where the base of the other lamp would have been, which is no longer there. And also, once again, some dust within the apartment, within a liquor cabinet. There are bottles also missing. What you can tell is the liquor fairly low value and easily able to buy, especially within the upper hive stores and whatnot. But things are a little bit odd.
Is there any security camera, like security at this place? Any
No.
recordings?
No, they wanted the privacy. And
If I
lastly,
were to bug the room, would I have put a bug in each of these locations?
give me a
Probably a
Ready
tech roll.
investigation. I'll let you use tech. I'll probably make it a little hard difficult with tech. Here, let me see. This is kind of off roll. Now we'll go with it.
Whoa, Jesus!
I mean, what
one
you
thing I'm
expect
good
of
at.
mechanical gadness?
So
Yeah.
that's a 6. No, that's an 8.
Yeah, that's a night. Yep.
Actually, Meta, you would think that the nightstand probably wouldn't be a good place to put a bug because there'd probably be within close sight of his view quite a bit, especially if he is by the bed. So it actually would have been better to put a bug in a place that he would be in close proximity to, but not a place where he would actually view quite often. But a couple more things lastly we want to get your attention. In that there is what seems to be some smudges of dry grease, as if an oily satchel or a bag was placed on the floor next to the bed. And just outside the door to the loft is what seems to be a couple of small yellowish spongy mass.
a yellow spongy mass outside the door?
Yes, a couple of flecks on the ground.
Oh.
That just really stands out.
Do we know what it is?
As you look at it, everyone can give me an investigation roll if they wish.
Can I use scholar?
Oh, sorry, give me a scholar roll. Yeah, that'd be better.
Okay, that's
knowledge.
I have that. So
Nice.
That's a 5.
Yep.
Ren, you got no idea.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. What the fuck is this thing? And I just kind of squish it.
Is there a way to find out, like, a lab to take you to and have it examined? By lab or
most definitely within this place. For example, you hit there's different places you can take it to get it investigated. So you can take a sample of it.
Yeah, I would take sample for both the yellow stuff and the grease to a lab to have it checked out.
I mean, probably better for the metal to do that. You know, he got his fancy. Do you have any like? Forgot how those mechanical things are called.
The servitors?
Yeah, not servitors, like the one attached to your back, you know, with like tentacles, whatever. Like Dr. Octopus for Spider-Man.
My mechanidrite.
Yeah, mechanidrates, yeah. I mean, probably better for you to do that instead of just sticking finger into it.
I don't know, this one's more of a, like, it's got USBs and HDMIs. And...
okay.
You're a walking port.
I would instruct one of the enforcers to take a sample of each to have them checked out by professionals.
Okay. Do you wish to have any yourself?
I'm going to take some of the spongy stuff, but...
Alright.
I'm not going to take any of it.
The enforcer, the sergeant, does come up to you again, Olaf. He goes, "Yeah, this is gruesome. Any interesting leads you might have found?"
Olaf.
I'm sorry, but I love how all of us were quiet, waiting for Anna, and then we all started at the same moment.
Well, because he was talking to Olaf, so like while I would have said something, he wasn't talking to me.
He looks around at everyone as he says this.
Yeah, my bad, I suppose. But if you start, go for it.
So, leads. Well, we're still trying to necessarily figure out whether or not the robbery portion of these murders was the actual intention or some kind of way of hiding the intention.
Now that you mention it, were there any thefts within this apartment?
Yeah, actually. So, around by the blood pool, there's like fibers from where a rug used to be there. But it seems that's gone. And when I was looking up in the loft earlier, he had his clothes for the next day set out, like jewelry and his pants and stuff like that. But the shirt was gone.
Now that you mention it, I do believe there were also more, there was thefts within all 4 murders now that you bring this up.
Right.
I do know that the first 2 will provide no further information because they've been cleaned thoroughly by servitors, but Merritt Terminar's apartment can still be viewed, if you wish.
Alright. Let me write that down really quick. Once we finish up here, that probably is a good idea.
Yeah, I just want to point out there are also 2 anonymous, what's the word? You don't know the yellow stuff and the grease, what's the code?
With the sample of yellow goo.
Yeah, 2 unknown substance
There's
as well.
Oh, what is this? I've never seen this before. He kind of holds it in a little like tray.
Yeah, no, I was trying to figure that out too.
Is it this? Just observation. Is it the same yellowish color that would be in the water?
No, that was kind of like a brightish yellow. It's more like an orangey type.
That it's like gooish, right?
No, it's just kind of spongy.
Oh, just fine. Okay.
I tried to figure it out earlier too. I've read quite a bit, and not even I was able to kind of glean anything from this. Granted, I don't know if sight would possibly help with that.
When you mention it, is it possible that something had come from the water, and because it's out of the water, it changed the color? Is that a possibility?
No, that'd be impossible. The only thing within the water are the what are they called?
He's got my SpongeBob.
Let me see.
I mean, are you seriously? That's out of character, but are you seriously thinking about some fucking sea monster?
Fluffy has given me a wonderful theory that it is possibly that he was possibly murdered by SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh my god.
No, but you said that part of the lower parts of the city are underwater.
Right, but the only
So
stuff
if-
under there is...
Yeah, but if someone from the lower parts came up to the upper parts and did this, they might have taken something from the water with them.
No, the only thing within these waters now are what are called world fish. Giant mutated aquatic fish that are used for food.
Nobody lives in the lower part of the hive city?
Oh no, that's where all of the individuals live. That's where the world fish are harvested.
So that's what we're saying, is that someone from the lower part of the hive might have done this.
That would most likely be impossible. All railways going between the lower hive and the upper hive are monitored. No one's been recorded coming up from the lower hive.
Well, I don't think we've asked that, but were there actual like signs of break-in, like through door, windows, anything like that?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
that is a good question.
I just realized that we didn't ask
Infiltration.
You guys never asked about that. Let's see. All right. So you start looking around a little bit, and you see that obviously from outside that the door's metal locking control was cut very, very cleanly by powered clippers.
The same used on the hands?
Yes. Has the same kind of like cut diameter and kind of like angle. Now, looking at that in kind of the angles, now that you can see kind of the grooves where it cut, you can tell that the clippers weren't that big, possibly the size of a servitor's hand.
Oh.
Could we think of? But are there like actual like standard equipment for servitors, or
Yeah.
is it like?
Yeah, even the ones that would that were cleaning the tree out front had those same
okay, I
clippers.
see.
Yeah, it's standard on the type of model that's going to be doing its task, but anyone that's going to be like salvaging or dismantling junk would probably have those kind of clippers.
Could servitors be ordered to actually commit murder, or is it like against their programming?
That would obviously be against their program. This would actually Meta would know this, but that we would obviously know immediately from. Let me find his name real quick.
I mean, I'm sure even Metal
There
could
goes
tell us
to Corberast would know immediately. He controls and repairs all the servitors within the hive.
It looks like we've got a person to ask about
that.
things.
Yeah, there's another person to talk to.
Could you type in his name, Hursk, in the chat?
Yep, in a second.
Yeah, so...
Just going back to the possibility from the lower parts of the hive, have they been looking for any secret passageways between the upper and lower parts?
Well, with the amount of servitors that are functioning within the city, they would have recordings of any secret passages, and none have been found. And as I mentioned, all of the railways between Upper Hive and Lower Hive are monitored. And between these murders, no one was unauthorized. In fact, no individuals from the Lower Hive were able to gain access to the Upper Hive by the records.
With how clean some of this is, I'm starting to think it might be somebody who knows what they're doing. This wasn't... I don't think this was just a regular robbery. I think that was maybe a red herring.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
Why? We're asking this person, right? Would there be anything specific for removing a very cheap bottle of wine? Maybe I'm thinking that there was something in it. Like, I don't know.
Well, there's several bottles. There's several bottles
wine.
missing. Not just one.
Oh, really?
How do you know that it was cheap wine?
Well, the rest of the bottles there were cheap.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe the expensive ones were taken then, or something like that. Okay. Was there like maybe is there like a secret button behind the bottle of wine's missing?
You do a quick investigation. You remove all the bottles out, and no.
Okay.
They were just...
Are there any type of equipment that is similar to the servitors clippers that a normal person could use?
Like basically a tool, that's what you're asking, or
Yeah, but
or
it
something
can be
that
similar
you
to the
can handle.
clippers.
Who would
Now,
have
a
access-
man powering the clippers to cut off the hands might be possible, but to cut through the locking mechanism, no. It would have to be something that's powered.
It'd have to be three.
So
Right.
so the clippers themselves would have been powered. Now, whether it was a human using those clippers or something else, that's to be known.
Well,
So
would a
so those
servitor be
clippers-
able to be directed to do that?
Yeah, that's
Would-
what I asked earlier. If servitor could be asked to do that, or is
Well,
it
you
fine?
asked about murder, but now
Yeah.
we're asking how it's
my,
passed.
I guess. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
you're
No.
right. Yeah.
No, they have fail-safes against them. Plus, anyone that is tampered with would immediately be known by Corporest.
So it's
No,
very
okay.
They're all monitored within the hive.
so it's very likely a servitor is not the one who cut
Yes.
that. So it
And
must have been a
Corporest has been aware of the murders. He would know immediately if anything was amiss with the servitors.
Okay, so it
Unless-
wasn't a servitor. So it's pretty,
Unless he was involved.
That would be preposterous.
let's not jump to conclusions yet. Until
I'm
we-
not saying anything, I'm just saying I'm not ruling it out before more
Right. I'm not going to rule
evidence.
it out, but I'm definitely not going to jump to that conclusion yet until we actually get to talk to him. In the meantime, we'd probably have to ask him, do you happen to know who all might have access to these kinds of tools? Would it just be people working with servitors, or would there be other worksmen who might have access to this kind of tool?
Only servitors would have these,
Only people repairing
as
them?
far as I know. But I'm also not someone that deals with maintenance, so I'm not the best one to talk to about this.
Fair enough. Do you think Magos might know?
That is past my jurisdiction. That would be best to speak back with Prefect O'Reilly.
Okay. I don't know when to go.
Okay, I'm just thinking here that wondering if any tools can be taken.
Does he even have tools?
I'm thinking about servitor tools that the servitor tools have been stolen.
Do we see...
No, once again, Corporest would know anything inventory-wise was taken or tampered with. He is very meticulous, as all Mechanicus individuals are.
And I think we should speak to him next then.
Yeah. And then...
Wouldn't Metal know precisely what would be called that clippers or whatever? That were used to do that. I mean,
Did we just call it power clippers or whatever?
well, yeah, but like that's general. But I mean, how many power clippers are there? Like variants and stuff like that.
Probably
Well,
quite a bit, I'd imagine.
That's
Okay.
kind that's probably... I mean, that's kind of the question I'm asking is, like, how many of these things would there possibly be? Like, how many different types of people would possibly use them?
Well, do you wish to head back towards the Prefect or head towards
I
the
really
Merit Terminar's
Well,
apartment?
Yeah, the second house, I guess. First.
Well, no, I wanna see Carbaros, right? Well, do
Yeah.
we wanna go to the apartment before we go to Carbaros in case we have more questions?
I think
think the
maybe we should
apartment.
yeah, before any
Okay,
caves
because
go
we
cold.
might get more questions for him.
Yeah.
To the
In the way I
apartment.
understood it, we cannot go straight to Magos Carborest because it's outside of our allowance. We'd have to ask
Prefect.
As the
the
prefect.
prefect, yeah, to go there. Yeah, but I mean that's after we check the second
God,
apartment.
I really don't want to. I want to avoid going to that prefect as often as we can. Honestly.
Lesson learned.
All right, let's head towards Merit Terminal's apartment before it's cleaned by the servitors.
Right. Yeah.
All right, and with that, you do believe you found all the information you've gotten from this apartment by Exon Volus. Y'all head out, and you're walking along the passageways towards the third apartment, the third murder. And as you're passing a kind of a giant passageway going in between several buildings, you do notice that there are a lot of servitors, as usual, around. But you actually hear a scream from behind you as you all immediately turn around and you see that there's a servitor with a power drill that's currently drilling through the side of a civilian that was walking by.
Smite.
Nope, we're now going to go into the first combat to Wrath and Glory.
Oh, okay.
But this does actually give them a advantage, or it gives them a surprise. Yeah.
What, they get surprised? Or...
Yes, because you're being surprised. You guys are being surprised, so.
Oh, shit. Oh, I thought he was busy.
No, we're getting surprised by servitors. What are
Yes,
we gonna
that's
do?
why. Because there's been so many about the city, you didn't think about them. Maybe you had a little bit of an inkling, thinking about maybe when it got changed, but right now, there are several that are, well, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
okay. That makes more sense.
Quick question: aren't servitors used by the military as well? They're basically the building stuff as well.
But that's
I mean,
more
servitors
the-
do everything.
Yeah.
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 They're the giant workforce of,
Yeah, but
The
because
universe.
when you said servitors, I thought of the one for the Dawn of War games.
yeah,
And when
they
it-
literally
when
do
you-
everything.
When I got the
Yeah.
picture, it looked nothing like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's ones for combat, there's ones for cleaning, for cooking. I mean, there's literally for everything they do.
yeah, for everything.
And these
I
appear to
mean,
just be like regular cleaning ones or
Actually-
Standard,
Yes, they are. Just stand what the picture I showed you. That is exactly what they look like. Let me go and find.
right. But like I'm basically trying to figure out what kind are these? Like are they just like repair or something or
They seem to be maintenance
mean-
ones.
damn.
Yeah, they're the standard ones that you see that were cleaning all the walkways, the trash and everything. They're just right now, like you see this giant clamp. The clamp is on a human with a drill, just spewing blood throughout. Like the claws are just making a giant scene everywhere. But you do
Holy
see
shit.
more of them. All right, so let's go ahead and go
Ren
into-
kind of like Ren kind of clasps their hands to their mouth and kind of like retches for a second, like.
I don't have no problem with what I'm seeing.
and
I
you
mean-
probably get excited again.
Well, I mean, again, like Ren's never been out of the academy before, so like to some extent, they've been a bit shielded from some of it.
Actually,
Meanwhile-
I'd like to think that you more of smell the blood than actually see it.
Well, that too, yeah. Well,
It's
it's
this.
kind of think of it like this. Remember that the air around us is kind of chemically, so it was already making them sick, and now like the smell of blood on top of that is like whoop.
And the painful screams from the woman as well, maybe.
Yeah. I can kind of think of like think of like a shadowy. You can kind of see the silhouette of this going. He can kind of see the silhouette of this going on.
Mm. Meanwhile, I'm basically seen everywhere possible a human can die.
Yeah.
So I've seen.
What are you doing on Berserker? I mean, fucking Slayer?
Me?
Wrong universe. Yeah. I mean, Slayers want to die, right, in combat. That's their ultimate goal.
Either way.
of the guardsmen in the guardsmen.
Well, guardsmen they don't have choice.
Yeah, basically I've seen someone with in two by an orc, so
Hersky here?
Yep, I'm actually setting up the map and
Okay.
everything. I don't have the image I want to use, so we're just going to go ahead and use...
Are we going with individual initiative after all?
we're going to go with... right now we're going to go with the standard initiative just to keep how this is going, but they're going to go first, so...
Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The way initiative works in the game is, as a group, we decide who goes first for us, and then it goes back and forth. But they got surprised, so they go first, and then we go, and then...
I'm asking because last time I spoke with Hersky about that, he was considering homebrewing it into standard.
It was actually homebrew, it's actually an optional rule, but right now, let's go with the standard initiative.
Well, yeah.
So everyone go ahead and put yourself in the line of how you want to be as you're walking.
Which way
This one
were we
passageway.
walking?
So,
Oh, we were going that way?
yep,
Okay.
you're going this way. So go ahead and position yourselves within kind of the middle of that eagle, so, as it happens.
which way are we actually going?
We were going this way.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
because I would prefer to be in the back actually, and not the front.
Alright, I'm locking it.
Whatever. Wait, there are multiple hostile servitors?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, was that there's actually more of them.
Yeah, no, I heard there's one killing a woman and just several...
Oh yeah, there's one, and there's a lot more heading towards you guys right now, as you're about to find out.
Oh, there's an ambush.
Yeah, you see,
Yay,
it's an
wow.
ambush. You see one, and now they're coming at you.
That's what we've been talking about!
That's why
I
it
only
surprised
picked
us.
up the part where one was killing the woman and the others were just there doing the
Yeah,
normal stuff.
this one right here is drilling through a woman right now.
Well, not our
Okay.
business.
I mean, I think she's pretty much dead. Like, there's... Yeah.
Probably. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but I would not. I would like to kill stop it as soon as possible to preserve the body. Any evidence.
Well, I guess, yeah, but still.
That's not a little too much.
I forgot how far I can actually move. Do I have
6.
like a pace? 6? Is that...
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with 1 meter.
Normal human.
Okay.
Six
So I
square.
figured out a skill for this thing. Yeah, I'll go 2.
I think I've got 5 in that case, right? Because Carpasana.
I was talking 6 squares or 6 meters.
Yeah, I'll go with this.
6
Alright,
meters.
so we're going to go ahead and
But each
have...
square should be meters, so.
Right now, each square is 2 meters right now.
Okay, so how many squares can we move? Squares.
Alright, so, on your turn, you can do a basic move, which is going to be your speed, which is going to be 6, so you can move 6 meters. You can, as an action, run, where you move a total of 12 meters, or you can do an all-out run, where all you can do is, because if you run and then... So if you run and then attack, you get -2 to attack because you're doing 2 actions, kind of like Savage Worlds. If you sprint, you're going to double your run, so you'd actually move 12 plus, so you'd move 18 meters. But you can't attack afterwards. And it has to be in a straight line. You have to sprint in a straight line.
You said each square is 2 meters, so we're talking 3 squares.
Yeah, you'll
Or
see if you
six
actually,
squares.
you'll see if you actually drag. I'll show you. If you try to drag your range now, you'll see where you can move. Alright. So let's see how the climate works in this thing. Let's find out. I'm going to make this map smaller so I can get everyone else on here.
Yep,
As
I
these
can-
things come to life and start going after all of you. Alright, number 1 goes towards Olaf. Olaf, it's got a big arm with these giant things, giant like wrench or pliers with the drill. So you can see in the picture, it attempts to literally grab onto you and just pierce right into you.
I'm ready to die in first session. Yeah.
Actually, this is a
Bring
mob.
it
We go by mob rules, which means they're actually all probably like this. All from one side.
Oh. Oh, great. I immediately feel better.
Shouldn't one of them be further back because it was killing the woman?
Yeah, it'll be another one over here then. It'll be
Thanks.
One that's not part of the battle.
the one that's not part of the battle. It's over there. Here, we'll give him a different picture. We'll give him this one.
I done goofed. I should have said something.
It's
Yeah,
all good.
I learned that long time ago, but don't tell Hersk any ideas that will screw us over more because he'll immediately just add it.
Alright, so the servitor comes over and tries to grab onto you, Olaf, and drill into your armor. So, he's going to do the first roll. It's going to be servo arm, attack, and here we go.
Jesus Christ.
Alright, so, I got a damn rat dice, so, I got a complication. Let's find out what happens.
Wait, you want me to tell you what happened?
No. There's an actual complication table.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
debating what's worse to deal with.
So, out of ammo, so we'll just make it easy. The drill actually malfunctions and breaks. It stops burning as it goes to, like, damage, or as it tries to drill into you, the drill kind of goes, snaps, and just stops drilling. But he does hit you, because I believe you have a defense of 2, and he rolled a 8.
You have a defense of 2? Jesus, your armor.
Everyone's got a defense of 2, I see.
Really?
We're low on defense but high on armor.
Yeah. But
Where
there are
is
ways to
that at?
raise your defense by getting to cover. There's one way to do it.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Where is armor even put? Like, I mean, I don't have armor anyway, but...
Your armor basically is your resilience. So
Yeah.
that's like together
okay.
toughness plus your armor.
Yeah. You'll see it on your character sheet in the combat part. Alright, so I'm going to not shift any of the damage, so I'm going to do just straight damage on towards you. Now, it is brutal, so let's see what happens against resilience. Here we go. 11 damage. So
Alright.
let's see.
But Hersk, what did you do about that drill malfunctioning? Like,
I didn't shift any dice to the damage.
thank God.
Now, if you want to, Olaf, two things that can happen now. You either take it or you soak. If you soak, you're going to make a soak roll, and for every success you get, you negate one wound that gets converted from a wound into shock. Now, once you lose all shock, and you'll see it on your character sheet under the shock part, once you go to 0 shock, what that means is you now are exhausted, which means you can only do either a move or a basic action. You can't move and attack. So it's a
right
way
now
to
I
negate
have 0
damage.
shock, so
Oh, no, you should have... And it's willpower plus, so it's 5. Actually, right now, everyone, because it's the way it's set up, everyone go in the comment tab, go to shock and type in, not the actual value, but in the text itself where it says shock, put in shock equals the actual current value, for like 5 for you, Olaf. Everyone type it in.
Wait, so...
wait, where do you want me to type it?
In the comment tab. Not in the not in the link box where it actually says shock itself, the word shock. Put shock equals in your actual full shock value right now. Yeah, like
that?
Wolf Dead. Yeah, do that.
With spaces or without spaces?
Just that, just so you know what it is, because it's going to go down.
Okay.
If you suck, it's going to go down. So just to keep track.
Okay.
In,
So
in the
in-
chat or
in chat,
the...
yeah, in chat window.
No, on the character sheet.
Yeah,
On your character
on the
sheet.
combat.
Oh, goddammit.
So yeah, in the text where where you can type out the name health or shock or whatever.
Yeah, type it in there,
Yeah.
just so you know what it is.
Because it's gonna go up and down, so you need to keep track of what your max is.
Yeah, because I would probably suggest you soak, because you're about to take 3 wounds out of your health, so...
That's just one. Fuck. We're getting.
Okay,
into
so
more.
1 second. Something's fucking cleaning streets outside. All right, it's gone. More or less. So I was going to ask, how many soaks can we do?
I believe. Let's see. I think it's on the character sheet. If you go to the reference tab, if you go to combat, is it in there? Nope. Is it Wrath and Glory? There's a place where it says you can soak.
The guide stats.
Oh no. Okay, no. You spend Wrath to get back shock. I think it's just an action you can do. Let's find out.
So you can just do it as long as you have shock?
Huh. I guess I am unfamiliar with this rule. Let's go back to it. If I think on top of my head, you can do to even start a soak, it costs 1 shock, and if every wound you negate is an extra shock. So you do have a limit. Just look real quick for combat options. Combat effects. Damage, wounds, soaking. Okay, so heroes can make a soak roll. Heroes can make a soak roll, reduce the damage suffered by 1 wound per success. Once characters have a chance to mitigate the damage, apply the remaining to the characters. Right, so the roll is soak is not a test, so it does not use the wrath dice, nor does it have a difficulty number. Yeah, you can do it whenever you want. It just the limit is going to be to start. It costs 1 shock, and then for every wound you negate is also 1 shock. So eventually you'll run out. You won't be able to do it. So yeah, just go ahead and do it right now.
Okay. So so I've got 5 health from what I see, right?
Wait a second, you actually don't have the soak dice, so let's see. All right, so is your base toughness, which is 3. Okay, it's on the character sheet now. It's under the powers tab where it should be drive stats.
Powers. All right.
You see it there. Go ahead and click on that.
Okay.
Roll it.
Well, before I do, I want to clarify a couple of things, please.
Okay.
So I've got 5 health, right? So if
Yes.
I wasn't to soak, I get what, 3 damage?
Yeah, 3
how
wounds
does it work? 3. So I got 3 wounds.
out of the 5. Yeah,
But what is health? Oh, out of 5.
yeah. The health
Yeah,
is your
so,
boot. It's your HP.
You either you're either taking the damage to your health or to your shock, one of the two.
Yes.
Is
Okay.
whether or not you want to.
And once your wound matches your health, you go unconscious and you start dying.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I rolled soak, obviously.
How's damage calculated?
Oh my fucking god.
Now, you guys have a lot of glory. I believe you can use glory to.
Isn't my wrath and isn't my wrath that I spent to reroll?
Okay, so you spend wrath to increase your defense check. You can use glory to add a dice to any reroll. So you can use a wrath to reroll that.
I mean,
You could reroll all
because
3
I
of
need because every success removes 1 point of wounds, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So drag one of your wrath in, and then.
What does seize the initiative mean?
It means you'll go before me once normal combat is in.
But we're not in
So-
normal combat yet. We're still in the surprise round.
Yeah.
We're just
okay.
trying to. So you go ahead and drag your wrath in, and then go ahead and reroll.
Yeah.
Or just double click it.
Also, what's what determines your soak dice?
It's your
always
toughness. It's your toughness.
Free? Oh, it's
Yeah.
my toughness. Okay. I'll use my wrath. There we go.
All right. Then reroll the entire thing.
Oh, much better. All right.
Well, that's
Uh,
2. So 2 of your wounds go to your shock instead.
Well,
And you
first
can use
one
glory.
is
There's 4 glory
Yeah.
in the pool, so.
yeah, I literally just made another glory, didn't I? So
Well, no.
With
The wrath
6
is just
to
to
the start.
reroll. Wrath is just to reroll it. Now you can use glory to add more dice if you want to.
yeah,
Right.
but I understand. But my first die is 6, so then that generate another glory.
Oh yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
wrath die
Well, no,
was
no.
like-
It's not a test. Soak roll is not a test.
Oh, it's not a test.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, if that's fine with you guys, I could use glory because glory is
Sounds good to me.
shared pool. Okay, so yeah,
Would
just for
prefer-
testing, right?
Prefer you not die in the first fight.
Thank you for worrying about me. All right, so
I'm not worrying about you.
okay, awesome.
I
my
just
shot
don't.
goes to.
I
so
just don't want you to
you go
die
first.
because that means one less person to fight.
Yeah. The person with biggest gun, actually, probably. Anyway, so now my shot goes from 5 to 4, right?
Yep. So go ahead and you see where we have extra dice on the character sheet.
extra dice
On the bottom right?
character sheet.
The note section.
Extra die roll.
Yeah, I do.
Extra
Yeah, I do.
Click on that.
Yep.
Click it one time because you're using one dice. Looks like.
Which one? Extra die roll, basically.
Yeah,
That?
do it one time
Extra
because
die,
you
yeah.
used one glory.
Ah,
So
shit.
it's a
Alright.
fail. So you
I
did
will-
negate
I'll
2
not
wounds. So you
do-
took 1 wound instead. So you
Yeah.
took 1 wound.
Okay, so.
Alright, so I'll do it myself. Alright, so you'll see, yeah, 1 wound.
So rough.
So he went. So we'll have number 2 now go. He goes blah, blah, towards Ren.
Ouchie.
Right, so this one is also going to try to servo arm you.
Yeah, I've got like 2 defense as well, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, he
Oh.
failed.
Oh!
All right.
And complicated.
Oh,
You know,
I'll give you guys another. I can't remember it, so I'll give you guys a glory.
Oh.
It's first comment of the game. I'll give you a glory.
Alright.
We get a glory every time you complicate or fail?
Maybe, maybe not. I'll do it for right now. Just make it easy.
I'll check.
Okay.
All right, Olaf, another one's coming after you.
Bring it in.
Oh.
Wow, these things
Pathetic,
suck.
Jesus.
Right, number 5 is going after you.
With as much die as they're rolling, this is ridiculous.
All right, Ren, what's going
Yeah.
after you?
Here we go. Now I'm probably gonna get hit. Yeah, that's
Ooh, yeah, all right.
definitely enough to hit. That's definitely
Ouch.
enough to hit me.
All right, so that's 8 successes. All right, against your 2.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so here comes damage. 10 damage. Against
That's-
your resilience of
5
6.
resilience, that's 5. Well, I know I have resilience 5, so that's 5 damage.
That's right. Yep. Okay.
Shit,
5
so
damage
I
out of your 6 health, or do you wish to soak?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. No. How about? Oh fuck. Where do I drag it from?
Raph is at the top of your character sheet if you want to reroll everything.
Just double click it. You'll use it.
Just double click it, yeah.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And
so
it deducts
I
it to the-
reroll 3 die.
Mhm.
So 1, 2, 3.
All right. Nice.
God damn.
So right now that's just 3 wounds.
Yeah.
I forgot the mic was.
Unless you want to use glory.
I have an archetype ability, Look Out, sir, which means I can soak someone else's damage. Do I have to be next to them?
Well, you're not next to me, so
Yeah. Not
Do
yet.
I have?
yes, you have to be next to me.
Okay.
Directly next.
Nice. So
I
you're
mean,
a little
spend
bit
some
far away.
glory. You
Yeah,
can spend some
so-
glory if you want to.
Is
There's
that
4.
okay?
There's 4 glory in the pool right now. So
Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
I'll
Like
try to
use
do
like
one
2
more.
probably.
nice. Okay. It's all. It's all of it.
Nice.
Only 1 wound.
We need a telephone.
And then the last one is going. Okay, but you are going to soak. That's 4 shock though.
Yeah, but still.
So you got 2.
Why
All
is
right.
that 4 shock?
It's 1 to
She spent
initiate it,
four-
and then 3 wounds negated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so okay.
So it's one just to even shock, or it's 1 just to even do a soak roll. All right, and the last servitor is going after Jeg. Jeg, here it comes. I believe.
Wait, no. Then I think it's 5 shock because I negated 4 wounds, took 1, and then initiated the shock. So I only have 1 shock left.
Okay,
With that.
I'll
one.
let you guys take care of this because I have too much stuff I'm going through right now. So you did soak. So you did soak all the wounds, but you did take a lot of your shock value. Now you can also
Yeah.
use, I believe.
Wrath, I think you said Wrath. You can
Yeah,
use
which
Wrath.
it looks like Ren did use all her wrath. So.
Yep.
But
I
you
did.
use Rat to gain back shock, 1d3 plus 1. Alright, then damage against Jeg. Non-damage. So Jeg with the armor, that would actually be 1 damage unless you want to soak it.
Oh, actually, I soaked all of it, so I have no shock left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to count.
Okay, I'm not sure how this is. I'm not.
Okay,
I
so
don't know the
Jeg,
system.
you've got 6 health.
Yeah.
Once you get to 6 wounds, you go unconscious and you start taking critical hits. You start dying. So, right
Okay.
now, with this hit, you're taking 1 damage. You can either take it, so you have 1 out of 6, or you can soak it, where you roll your soak roll to try to absorb the damage, but it goes into your, like, think about your stamina. It goes into your stamina. Once your stamina goes
Okay.
out, you become exhausted. You do less actions per round.
Yeah, which I'm already in that state.
So if I want to soak, I just press the soak button.
Which, with
Yes.
1 wound, I don't know if it's worth it. Because it takes 1 shock to initiate that to begin with.
Yeah.
So you'd be taking 2 shock to do that.
So it just should take the shock then.
Or
Yeah,
they're saying you should take the damage.
take the
The
damage,
damage.
because it's 1 damage. You
Okay,
either
so-
you're basically either choosing to take 1 damage or take 2 points of stamina damage.
Yeah.
Lucky look. Who is
Lucky
this?
look.
At the end of the session, he's popping in.
At the end of the
Yeah.
fucking session.
You know why?
Why?
No.
Because when you said Sunday, I thought you meant Sunday night. I sleep during the day. I work 3rd shift.
We gave you a time.
I don't remember getting a time ever.
It was 11 a.m. PST.
I don't remember that.
I did.
It was in the chat.
We were all there. I don't know if you were there, but...
No, we can
I was
discuss
there.
afterwards if you're able to even do it now, because I guess it is past or it's different from what you thought it was. But anyways, I am actually running out of time, so I do want to finish this up. So let's go ahead and go real quick. You can listen if you want to, hacks. But Jeg, do you wish to take the damage or soak it? No, what you're saying is true. If you take the damage, it's 1. If you soak it, you're taking 2 soak though, or 2 stamina.
Do I get the stamina back?
By
After
either
fight?
using your wrath or at the end of combat.
At the end of combat.
Yeah.
At the end of combat.
And stamina is what?
For you, it's 5.
Yeah.
It's a shock value.
Basically, you're basically choosing to either take 1 damage or 2 stamina damage.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Can I
saying
get-
it's...
Can I get the health back?
After combat, yeah.
Yeah, after
Okay.
combat we get stuff back. I'm just saying it's
Okay,
probably...
then I'll just take the damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, but that will be all of the enemies. We now go into the actual combat. So, one of you gets to go ahead and...
I don't
Go.
have any shock left, so I'm not able to even move, because I'm going to definitely be attacking.
Yeah, you're
So I can't
exhausted,
even
so
move.
you can only do a
can't move.
basic attack or you can move.
Yeah, so... What do you mean by basic? Like, can I still use my psychic powers?
I believe so. I'll just go with yes for the time being. But you can't do you can't do combat actions. You can't do like multi-tech. You can't do that. Or you can't do multi-action stuff like that.
Right.
So who's going?
Wait, but why can't we do multi-action?
No,
Well, if
just
you're
her.
exhausted, you can't. She can't.
Just me.
Oh, okay.
She's out of stamina now. Or,
I'm
she's out of shock.
stamina.
So
From that
Well-
one attack, I'm out of shock.
Could you remind me multi-action? Like, does that mean like I can fire twice?
no, you can't do duplicate actions. You can only attack once, but you can like run and then attack. You can reload then attack. But for every action you do, you get -1. You get minus the difficulty is +2 to whatever you're doing.
Well, is it moving free and then like shooting?
If you run though, so if you move, run and then shoot.
Okay, okay.
So move is free, run is an action.
What does rapid fire do again?
So if you're within half the range of the weapon, you get that many extra dice to your roll. On the other hand, if you have a weapon that has a salvo rating, if you use a reload, you're able to add that also many dice to your roll. Now, here's the fun thing about mobs. These servitors are a mob. When you attack a mob, for every 2 points above its defense you roll, you do damage against extra targets.
Oh, so it's actually probably better for me to use my gun than it is for me to try to smite one of them.
Possibly.
Probably.
So, these servitors have, I'll just say, a defense of 2. So if you roll a 4, if you get 4 successes, the 2 successes go to just hitting it. You have 2 left over successes, which means you hit an extra servitor for damage.
Well, actually, my smite is against their defense, so I actually can do that. Nice.
So we need to build the initiative order first, right?
No, I'm not doing that because that's going to make it all weird. We're just going to go back and forth. You look at the combat tracker, you see little circles. That means who's gone.
Okay.
Want to know is who's going first.
I can do a rapid fire, a salvo of 2 if you guys want me to try to take out as many as I can right now.
That would be nice if you hit something near me so I can potentially not die.
All right, then I guess I get first attack.
Yeah, I guess.
Please.
So you're attacking the mob, so you're not targeting specifically, you're just going to blow up the mob, and then we can remove which ones get hurt. So do the attack roll.
Do I add salvo and rapid fire because they're definitely within range?
Yes. Now if you salvo, go ahead and double click to use a reload. Nope. Yep, there you go.
Woo! That's 5 successes.
So that's 1 hit. And you have 3 leftover successes, and so every 2, and actually, so you hit 2 servitors. Roll damage.
No, wait, it's 10 plus the extra die. So 11.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
The damage is 10, and then I have 1 extra die.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
and
you
that die rolled 4.
You rolled a
so
4
it's
on that
14.
die, so it's 14.
Yeah.
It's 1d6 plus 10. So it's 4 plus 10. Because
No,
you rolled a
that's
4.
not right.
Fourth only is
No,
success.
that's, let me see, I think you did. Oh yeah,
Oh.
your damage is set incorrectly, that's why, give me a second.
That's weird.
No, he didn't set it. He didn't have this, I didn't do it for him. Give me a second.
Oh, that's weird.
So its base damage is 10, so it's 1d6 times 10. Alright. Go ahead and click that roll again. We'll go with that roll, so it's 12 damage.
Oh, I forgot you got the... Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to do it on your character sheet. Alright, yeah, so you did 12 damage against their armor. So, you just blew up 2 servitors.
Oh, shit.
Who's next?
I could go next.
Sure.
So,
Now, here's the thing though, Olaf. You are in, you're in melee with a servitor, which means you cannot shoot a weapon bigger than a pistol. Which means
Can
you
I
either
not
use a pistol or you jump
disengage?
back. Huh?
yeah, about the second one, how do I like disengage
You-
from melee to fire?
I believe if you just move out, you get attack of opportunity, like in D&D. Let me see if you can actually try to disengage.
That was something that frustrated me in Golden Glory, was that there wasn't an actual disengage option.
Yep, so an actual disengage action is you retreat from an engage without suffering any attack of opportunity. When you disengage, you move up to half your speed away from the foe from who you're engaged.
And I can still fire?
I want to say yes, but it does raise the difficulty by 2.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, that's still better than me fucking trying to melee.
Alright, so where are you going?
So, you said half, right? So, like,
Yeah,
in my case, it's
so
like...
3.
It's 2, in my case, I guess.
Okay.
Because there's no 2.5. So...
Oh, your speed's lower, isn't it?
yeah, my speed is
Yeah, 'cause the armor.
lowered by 1.
No,
so-
yeah, to pass its armor doesn't reduce your speed, I believe.
Really?
I believe so.
I think you told me that my speed is reduced by 1 because
I think it was the character's armor. Ah, whatever, I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm running past the time. I need to actually end this game pretty soon, so I want to
Okay, so make it free. Make it free then.
Alright.
We can look at
Do
it.
the roll.
Yeah. So how do I just add like 2 to modifier to increase the difficulty, or how do
No,
I
no,
like to
it
do
would
that?
just-
Is it just?
I'll tell you if it
yeah,
hits or
right.
not.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yes, my bad. I'm just used to D&D.
I know. Alright, so you are within, oh, it does have rapid fire, so we ignore that. It is
I am
Melta.
short range.
Yep, I mean, it is
But
salvo.
Melta adds +1 to each extra die, so nothing.
To damage,
nothing
not to hit,
needs
to damage.
initial roll. Yeah, to hit. To damage. And
Yeah.
is there anything to hit?
You have salvo 1, so you can use a reload to add 1 more dice to the dice pool.
I guess
That
it would
actually
be a failure.
is a miss, yeah. Because their defense is 2, so moving is actually +4. So, now here's what salvo can be used for. Salvo can be used to go ahead and add that many dice value, or you can use salvo to reduce the difficulty by that many number. So you can actually use salvo to reduce difficulty by 1 to 3 and get a hit.
Okay, but it spends my ammunition, right?
Yeah, so double click. So go to your character sheet, go to where it says
Okay.
reload, and double click where it says 3 to the right. The right 3.
Where's reload? I'm sorry.
Go to the character sheet under the more core. It's under the attacks little box on the top. It's a little gray rectangular box. It has like spells.
yeah.
One says reload in there.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
So yep, there you go. So now you would do this before. We're doing it right now because I'm just learning the game.
sorry,
Now I'm this
okay.
quick, but you would do this before you actually roll. But in this
Okay,
case,
gotcha.
say you did do it before the roll, so you actually reduce the difficulty by 1, so it goes to 3 difficulty, which you roll, so you hit. But you only hit one of them, so now go roll damage, which will obliterate these things because you have armor piercing with that
because
thing.
My
so.
damage is stupid. How do I roll damage?
It
Do I-
is. Oh, I didn't actually do it.
It didn't give me my damage roll.
Yeah, I don't even know how to roll damage.
Give me a second. Wrath, DMG, which the damage value is 16 plus, so damn high. It's 2d6 x 16. Alright, just roll that, because you're going to obliterate no matter what with that damn damage. Yeah, so. But we only hit one, so you just disintegrated one of them.
Do I choose which? Okay, good. Yeah, I was hoping for this.
Alright, now who's next? Jeg or Ren?
I
Me?
still. You can if you want.
You said it, he's going in. So,
I can
Jeg,
move
you're in
away
melee,
and-
means you need to disengage.
Yeah, I can disengage and shoot at the mob.
Mhm. But remember, because you
just-
disengage, it's going to be 2 actions, you get the difficulty now goes to +2.
But I can use a reroll to lower the difficulty.
Yes.
Okay, so I will disengage.
Alright, where you wish to move?
How far can I move?
Half your speed.
Up to
Have
3.
your-
So 3.
So 3.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I can there. And then I want to shoot my plasma gun.
Alright, so use a reload. Alright.
Okay.
Now,
that's,
real quick, because your plasma gun is rapid fire, you're within close range. The salvo 2 does reduce the difficulty by 2, so you negate the disengage penalty. So go ahead and click where it says Shift 1 for the rapid fire, and then click the plasma gun A for attack. Oh, that is ridiculous. All right, so that is 1. Okay, so
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 successes.
yeah.
I think the difficulty was 1, right? So
No, difficulty is still 2
Difficulty was 2.
because you negate it. So to subtract 2, so let's see, we have so 8. So yeah, you hit 4 things.
Which is all of the
All of
other
them.
enemies.
So roll, you might have killed everything. Roll damage. You just killed everything. So
You just killed everything.
how do I roll damage?
same thing.
kill-
This here says plasma gun D for damage. Click on that.
Ah.
Did he even kill the extra one that's really far away?
Yes. Yeah. You just smoked all of them with the plasma gun.
Awesome. That's good to know.
Oh, so you roll just damage to each of them, right? You don't roll the damage individually in case of
Yeah.
mobs.
I'll go through the rules again for mobs, but like I said, I
Okay,
wanted to
yeah,
wrap up like 15
Yeah,
minutes
you
ago.
were short on time.
So
yeah,
with
yeah.
this, I'm gonna wrap up right now. I will be around because I do want to see what you guys' reaction, what you guys think about this. But I'm gonna go to sleep in 10 minutes immediately. But right now, I'm gonna end the stream.